come back out.
All right, don't go anywhere. Coming up right now, Arena football. The Arizona Rattlers taking on the Iowa Barnstormers. Kurt Warner's in the booth with Paul Burmeister right now.
Will do battle. The man with the best story in AFL history will have the call. A pivotal midseason matchup, a special edition of Arena Football Friday. The Iowa Barnstormers have won 3 out of the last 4 games, but on this evening, it is the actual numbers 1 and 3 that have the fans extra fired up here inside Wells Fargo Arena. From 1995 to 1997, Kurt Warner wore the jersey number 13 before moving on to NFL fame, and on this evening, he will be the first player inducted into the Iowa Barnstormers Hall of Fame. And oh, by the way, we have 2 teams looking to make a big statement about what direction their seasons are headed in the Iowa Barnstormers and Arizona Rattlers. I'm Paul Burmeister, and thank you for being with us. The Iowa Barnstormers have certainly put the pieces back together since that ugly 0-2 start. A big win, a big upset at powerful Chicago a week ago punctuated the team's march back to 500. For the first time, we can say the Iowa Barnstormers are legitimate postseason contenders. Meanwhile, the Arizona Rattlers come to town with the most productive passing attack in the AFL. They also have the most misleading record. They are only 2-3. However, 2 of those losses came on the final play of the game. They are a team that expects to be involved in the postseason. I am not only honored this evening, I am very much looking forward to the fun we're going to have here in the booth. Kurt Warner at my side. And Kurt, you are no stranger to accolades, to honors that come along with your football career. However, to be back where it all started, it's got to be extra special.
Well, it is special. You know, so many of my dreams and my career playing professional football started here in Des Moines, Iowa, playing for the Iowa Barnstormers. So it's always great to come back here. It's a tremendous honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame today. But more importantly than all of that, I think fondly of the opportunities Arena football gave me to fulfill my dream.
After this game, the Iowa Barnstormers, Kurt, I was in the building, had the call for the first game. Iowa lost. Hey, let's be honest, they weren't very good, but a lot has changed. It's a much different team we're going to see here tonight.
Well, we talked a lot with Coach Gregory this week, and he told us how difficult it has been this year with free agency and the changes upon every roster to really fulfill an identity for each team. But it seems like over the last 4 weeks, they've gone and done that. They've won 3 out of the last 4 after an early quarterback change, defense playing at a high level. It seems that they're ready to make some playoff noise.
You're the guy who made the position famous, the position being quarterback of the Iowa Barnstormers, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you've seen.
I think Ryan Bennett has done a great job of bringing a calming presence to the Iowa Barnstormers. He pulls off his 9 years of arena experience, over 500 touchdowns, and also a great leadership and toughness. And he's rallied his teammates and gone a long way to helping them to identify themselves.
Look at the other side of the field. The Arizona Rattlers scoring points has not been a problem for that team, but preventing points is an issue.
Well, Coach Kevin Guy is known for his stellar defenses over the years in the Arena Football League. And he's been disappointed up to this point in his young defensive backs. He's been able to create more stops. But he said they've had 3 great days of practice this week, and he's looking for them to break out of that shell a little bit tonight.
Offensively for Kevin Guy's group, interesting that former head coach Danny White leads the way. Also interesting that the quarterback, Nick Davila, and the #1 wide receiver, Rod Windsor, rookies in this league.
Well, exactly. They have the #1 pass offense, #1 total offense in the league, and it goes through 2 rookies. You start with Nick Davila, who's a first-year Arena Football 1 quarterback, but he's coming off 4 with more than 300 yards and 4 straight games with 7 or more touchdown passes. And we know as a quarterback that you're only as good as your receivers. And his top target is Rod Windsor, who leads the league in both receptions and yardage. And if they're going to make a statement and get back on track tonight, through those 2 guys.
A couple of things we expect here tonight. Of course, a lot of points in this quarterback-driven league. #2, a sense of urgency for both sides. The Barnstormers looking to get over 500 for the first time. The Rattlers fighting to get to 500. The kickoff is next.
Here.
So, you like what you see?
Absolutely.
Revealing enough for you?
Yeah. I wonder Coors Light get these new windows.
What?
Windows. Thank you.
Introducing the new Coors Light Cold Activation Window. Now you can see your beer is cold before you buy it.
It's a fire hazard.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
We're in the mood for baby back ribs for dinner tonight. Who's got them? And we're hungry, so it's got to be all you can eat.
On an endless dinner buffet, and all for around 10 bucks.
Thanks for dropping by.
Golden Corral is the first ever to offer up all the mouth-watering baby back ribs you want. Fall off the bone baby backs, drenched in your choice of 3 sauces, all on our endless dinner buffet, all for around 10 bucks.
10 bucks? Glad we dropped by.
Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Relive the 2009 season with the best games from Week 10 back to back. Sunday is still game day. Don't miss the action. NFL Replay, Sunday starting at 1, only on NFL Network.
Number one way to play, baby. I know how we do it. D-line, we there. We there. We arrived. Let's get there. All day now. Receiver, let's go, baby. I know what it is. Man-to-man coverage, let's go. Dominate, do your job. Beat your man. Have fun out there, man. Let's go. We at the crib. Take care of your house.
That was the scene inside the Iowa Barnstormers locker room. Here's the scene inside Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. Paul Burmeister, Kurt Warner in the booth, and Anthony Herron on the sidelines for the first time on this evening. Let's say hello to Anthony.
Paul, I'm here with the Barnstormer head coach, John Gregory. First, coach, the most popular player in arena football history is being honored tonight. Can I get your thoughts on coaching and still knowing Kurt Warner?
I was so excited to see him here, and, you know, he's had such a wonderful career, and, you know, this is the kind of guy you would like to see these things happen to. So it's just a wonderful story that's true.
And, of course, that storybook has been written by Kurt. We'll hear plenty from him throughout the night. But the team you got here sitting at the possibility of getting over the 500 mark for the first time this season.
Well, it's a very important ball game for us. You know, we're playing a very good opponent. Arizona has lost some games that they should have won. So hopefully we can get them down and get ahead of them, and maybe they'll fold. I don't think so, but the key is to play a 4-quarter game.
And, Coach, your quarterback, Ryan Venner, was not the starter early in the season, but has he stepped in now to that leadership role?
Well, he certainly has. He's been very productive. He's a good leader, and, you know, I really look for big things from him.
All right, good luck tonight, Coach.
Hey, thanks, Anthony.
Paul?
Anthony, Coach, thank you very much. And Kurt, before you moved on to the National Football League, you spent 3 seasons playing for John Gregory. And with the perspective that you also played for Dick Vermeil and Tom Coughlin and Ken Wisenhunt, what was John Gregory like?
Well, you know, he was a great coach. He was a great players coach, but he also brought a fire. You know, I remember playing in these arenas and the number of times he would hit the boards and get fired up at his players and what was going on the field. And we just fed off of that as players, that we fed off that fire, that determination, that competitiveness, and it's the reason we had so much success when I was here with him.
I also find it quite interesting that Danny Weiss is calling the plays for Arizona. Such success as the head coach to that franchise. Goes to Utah for a couple of years, now comes back to call the plays for Kevin Guy. And I give credit to Kevin Guy for saying, hey, you know what? I know you're a big name here, but I'm going to let you call the plays for me.
Well, you know, Danny White has become synonymous with arena football. You know, he's been in the league, this is his 17th season, mostly as a head coach. So it was a big move for him to come back as the offense coordinator, knowing he didn't have full reins on the team. But like you said, a lot of credit goes to Kevin Guy to be able to allow him to do what he does best.
And get a chance to spend some time with Coach White on the phone this week. I know we're going to weave that in throughout the broadcast, but give us a little taste of what he shared with you this week.
Well, you know, the biggest thing is I was asking him why arena football, you know, why he comes back for his 17th season. And he tells me that he loves the game of arena football because of the players. that he knows that the players are here because they love playing the game. And he said when he first took the job, he thought it was just going to be a stopgap until he got a job in the NFL. But he fell in love with the game, he fell in love with the players, and that's why he's coming back for his 17th season.
Iowa Barnstormers set to kick off to the Rattlers. Kurt, we're getting a good feel. We can see it, we can hear it. Why they say that the best fans in the AFL are inside this building. Terrence Sanders brings it out of the end zone across the 5 and the 10. Breaking tackles and fighting his way out close to the 20-yard line. Tackled by the wide receiver, Todd Blythe. We'll talk about him on the other side of the football here in a bit. But the Rattlers will begin on the 19-yard line with Nick Davila at the helm. And Kurt, this is a guy like yourself, didn't play a lot in college. He played at Cincinnati. And now, because of the Arena League, really getting some real experience as being the guy.
He's a guy that's had some great success in Arena, too. And now has done nothing but pick up on that this first year in Arena Football 1.
Keep an eye on number 1, Rod Windsor. He leads the AFL in catches per game with just over 12. Looking for Windsor. Would have taken a perfect pass and a heck of a catch. It's incomplete. We take a look at the Iowa defense in the back end. Number 20, Tanner Varner from the University of Northern Iowa, Kurt, leads the AFL in tackles. And number 6, Jason Simpson, a cornerback. He is the reigning AFL Defensive Player of the Week. Nick Davila enters this game, 64% completion rate, 34 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. 2nd and 10 from his own 19. With time and a pocket, fires out. Across the 25 into Barnstormer territory goes J.J. McKelvey. That's a gain of 11.
You know, talking to Coach White this week, he said one of the things that Nick Davila does so well in the Arena game is he's very patient with the football, that he doesn't force things down the field, just like we saw there. He took a look down the field, tried to get the big play, but was very content to drop it off, get the first down, and take a shot the next time.
First down and 10, Arizona. They lead the league in first downs. First one puts them at the Iowa 21. Anthony Mix is your high motion man. Again with time, nice play underneath by the Barnstormers. Number 30 is Derek Bird, the linebacker, bringing up 2nd down and 10.
Well, that was just a great play. As you see the new rule with the jack linebacker, allowing him to go sideline to sideline. He does a great job of reading Davila's eyes and breaks up the hitch route, almost makes an interception that would have gone to the house.
A jack linebacker couldn't do that back when you were playing, right?
That's exactly right. There was a 5x5 box back in the day, but they've extended that to go sideline to sideline. 2nd and 10, J.J. McKelvey is the high motion man. Again with time, fires to McKelvey, puts it right on him. Drop pass leads to 3rd and 10. Well, you see that the Barnstormers are trying to mix it up. They're showing a lot of man looks, but they're dropping into zone. Here you see McKelvey just coming off slow, trying to get in the soft spot of the zone. Davila does a great job of putting it on him. He just can't make the catch.
John Gregory, the head coach for Iowa, told us this morning, Kurt, that he wants his guys to put some dents in Davila, and he's been dentless at this point of the game. 3rd and 10. Plenty of time. This time, McKelvey comes up with the catch at the 12-yard line. It's a gain of 9, and it will be decision time for the Arizona Rattlers.
You can see here that the Rattlers run some double crossers, trying to get the coverage zones out of the middle. And Davila comes and hits McKelvey on the back end. McKelvey making up for that last missed pass with a great two-handed catch that was a little bit behind him.
4th down and 1 on the 12-yard line. The Rattlers, as you can see, choosing to go for it. All 3 of Davila's wide receivers to his left. Looking for McKelvey, has him wide open for a touchdown. We do have a penalty marker on the play. Would be a touchdown of 12 yards if it stands. Davila to McKelvey.
There is no illegal defense on the play. There was a run fake. The result of the play is a touchdown. Number 75 is eligible.
Well, Rattlers did a great job here
99 is
on 4th and
eligible.
short of making a little play fake, gets the defense all to freeze and butt. And McKelvey's just able to sneak in behind the jack linebacker. No DBs in the area for an easy touchdown.
You see some receivers running free in this league, Kurt, but normally not that close to the goal line because the windows, as you have explained to me, close up awfully quick.
Yeah, not very often do you see run fakes. Running isn't such a huge part of arena football, so every once in a while you're able to get them to bite on a 4th and short situation. Allows for a receiver to get behind you and to be wide open like McKelvey was.
Jason Witzak makes it 7-0 as we see Nick Davila working with his offense after he led the Rattlers to a touchdown on the very first possession of the game.
As we check out this again, you see the little toss fake to the fullback, freezing the defensive backs as McKelvey goes up to stalk block the DB, freezes him, he goes to try to tackle the runner, and McKelvey just sneaks in behind him for the easy touchdown.
That gives Nick Davila 35 touchdowns on the season, Kurt, to only 6 interceptions. And your reaction, knee-jerk reaction, to say, wow, that's outstanding. But keep in mind there are 6 quarterbacks that have touchdown to interception ratios in this league of better than 7-1. So you got to change your perspective a little bit with the passing game in this league.
You do. It's all about the quarterbacks. It's all about the touchdowns to interception ratio. But Davila has had a great start to his season, a great start tonight, which is something that we talked about with the Arizona coaches. They got off to a lot of slow starts this season, so they really wanted to emphasize scoring early.
Tim Dodge will bring it out for the Barnstormers. Shifting and turning on the speed across the, approaching the 20-yard line out to the 21. Looks like he was going to have a chance to really break that one across the right side. Show that All-American track speed down the sideline. Tripped up at the 21.
It's amazing sometimes when they drop the ball off the net, how it freezes the coverage teams. They start looking at the ball, and Tim does a great job of picking the ball up and making a couple guys miss, and gets a good return for good starting field position for the Barnstormers.
As Kurt pointed out at the top of the broadcast, keep in mind Ryan Venna is the best runner in the Arena Football League for quarterbacks. Keeps it himself into Rattlers territory. A bruising run of 14 yards gives Iowa a first down.
And this is where Venna is so dangerous. He does a tremendous job of feeling the pressure and stepping up, but he doesn't just become a passer when he steps up. He's got the ability to tuck the ball and run. As we mentioned, the #2 rusher in the league, and here he keeps his eyes down the field, doesn't see anybody open, and is able to tuck it and pick up a big first down for the Barnstormers.
Fine line to walk because it's nice to be that threat, but as a quarterback, you don't really want to be running the football that often.
Not often, but when you have that kind of size, I think you can get away with it a little bit more.
Little pitch to Rodney Filer across the 15-yard line. Now, keep in mind there is no out-of-bounds line in Arena Football League. You are pushed out up against the wall, and he was pushed out after a gain of 5.
And something you don't see very often in Arena Football. If you have 7, 8, 9 rushes in a game, that's a lot for Arena Football. But you saw the Barnstormers trying to change it up a little bit there, sending the high motion guy away from him and tossing it to the weak side to Filer for a pickup of 5.
As we take a look at the Arizona defense, interesting stories in their front 5. Antaj Hawthorne and Daryl Shropshire with NFL experience. More on that in a second. And Venna goes down. Alex Guerrero drops him, and that is important, Kurt, because coming into this game, the Rattlers had how many sacks?
They had 2 sacks coming into this game, but we talked to Coach Guy, who was talking about how they needed to get a better push up the middle. So, you know, they put in the big guy into the MAC linebacker position, Daryl Shropshire, a 300-pounder, moving into the MAC position to hopefully garner some more attention on the inside and create some more pressure, just like we saw there.
Shropshire, 2005 7th-round pick with the Falcons. Contributed there for a couple of seasons. Penalty flag on the play. Plenty of time for Venna across the middle. Nice catch by Todd Blythe before he's dropped by Riley Swanson. We'll see what the penalty flag is for. It was a gain of 11 if it stands.
Illegal formation, number 77 of the defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Number 77 is Antaj Hawthorne. The second part of that experienced NFL tandem. He is the nose tackle, was a 6th-round pick of the Raiders back in 2005, and played in 10 games in Oakland in 2005 and 2006. This after his all-Big Ten career at Wisconsin, where he started 41 consecutive games for Barry Alvarez and Brett Bielema. 1st and 5 from the 5. Jesse Schmidt will be the high motion man. Venna to Dodge, touchdown Iowa. You got to think right there, Kurt, that Arizona was aware of the fact that Venna just might keep it.
Well, yeah, they know that Venna is a distinct threat down here in the red zone. And one of Iowa's favorite plays, they've been running it since I was a Barnstormer, was a play where they read the tackle. You see that Venna reads the tackle. He has an option to hand it off to the fullback or sprint out. They've got a pass route that goes along with the sprint out. Venna does a great job of looking underneath, seeing nothing, coming over the top for the touchdown.
Jeff Glass up and in, and the Iowa Barnstormers have 7 points thanks to Ryan Venna to Tim Dodge. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, all tied up in Des Moines.
Super Bowl 27.
From 1 and 15 to the Super Bowl.
America's team back on top. Aikman, Irvin, and Emmett ready to lead the Cowboys to their first ring in 15 years. The Bills, after back-to-back Super Bowl heartbreaks, looking for redemption. These are the moments that last forever. Super Bowl Classics, Bills, Cowboys, tomorrow at 8 on NFL Network.
Fast, loose, and as wild as it gets. Saturday night, May 22nd, the stars come out and the gloves come off for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed. It's a winner-take-all dash for cash, and with $1 million on the line, it's checkers or records. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday night at 7 Eastern, Channel 607.
Only on Speed.
We were born to see the world in 3 dimensions, and the new Panasonic Viera Full HD 3D TV is the ultimate 3D experience. Immerse yourself in incredible depth and clarity thanks to fast-switching phosphors and Infinite Black Panel Pro.
Panasonic Plasma is the difference.
With 3D this lifelike, can we still call it a TV?
NFL Total Access is your inside source for breaking news from around the NFL. The latest on minicamps, OTAs, all next week on NFL Total Access. Monday through Saturday, 7 Eastern, only on NFL Network. Terrence Sanders deep for the Rattlers after Ryan Venna and Tim Dodge and Jeff Glass helped the Barnstormers tie the score at 7. Riley Swanson, you got to play that football off the net. Back to Sanders, and he crosses the 15-yard line before he is tackled by Tommy Ellingworth at the 16.
Almost a great break there for the Barnstormers. What the kickers are trying to do is hit one of the metal parts on the net, get a kick back, hopefully that their guys can recover the ball. And they almost had it there, but a great recovery by the Rattlers.
Nick Davila was 3 for 6 on the last touchdown drive, the first drive of the game, and J.J. McKelvey caught all 3 of his completions. With time to Windsor, fires a strike. Windsor tries to fight his way back to the first-round mark, pushed out of bounds by Tanner Varner after a gain of 7.
Well, Rod Windsor has done a tremendous job for the Rattlers this season. Being an AF2 Rookie of the Year last year, he set all kinds of records at that level. But he's made the transition up to Arena Football 1 with no problem. Coming into this game, he leads the league with 12+ receptions a game and almost 155 yards a game receiving. So he's done a tremendous job of carrying over what he did in AF2 to AF1.
2nd and 3, little give inside to Johnny Curtin. Micah King dragging him down with help from Tanner Varner. That's a gain of 5. Anthony Herron, what do you got?
I have got Ryan Venna, the Barnstormer quarterback, coming out that opening series. Looked like they tried to get after you on defense, but didn't stop you from getting in the end zone.
Yeah, offense did a good job. Offensive line protecting, got a couple of openings there.
ran a play down there at the goal line that we saw in the film worked.
How do you feel you've evolved as a leader on this football team, stepping into that quarterback position?
You know, offense, the teams, you know, they've responded, you know, tremendously to me. You know, I've gone out there, done my job, and we're putting the points up, so that's the most important thing.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. Paul?
Anthony Ryan, thank you very much. Davila quickly to Windsor. Approaching the 10-yard line, pulled back by Jason Simpson. That's a gain of 12. That is the second first down of this drive for Arizona.
We see the Barnstormers are trying to play very soft, giving the Rattlers, giving Davila everything underneath. You see McKelvey clears out 2 receivers. Davila just hits a quick pass to Windsor underneath and allows him to run in the space that McKelvey created with his route.
Windsor, a quarterback his whole life until his senior season at Western New Mexico. This is only the 3rd season he has played wide receiver. You see the hands right there at J.J. McKelvey, and also the fight inside the 5-yard line for a gain of 9. Khalil Carter on the tackle for Iowa.
And that's one thing Danny White talked about this week, is the talent and the hands of his whole group of receivers. He told me how he thinks he's got the best receiving crew in the league, and they just continue to separate themselves. Not only do they have great size and speed, but also tremendous hands.
2nd 1 on the Iowa 2-yard line. J.J. McKelvey will be the high motion man. This is Johnny Curtin fighting his way to the 1-inch line. The Rattlers thought he was in. The good news for them, it is a first down. Be 1st and goal from inside the 1.
The Rattlers really like Johnny Curtin from a running standpoint. Talking again to the coaches with the Rattlers, they talked about the number of times they were looking to run now that Johnny Curtin was healthy and back. So he gives them an added dimension with those 3 great receivers to be able to keep the Barnstormers off balance just like that.
Arizona 1st and goal from inches away from the goal line. Davila keeps it himself, and the Rattlers have their 2nd touchdown of the evening.
So it's been a great start for the Rattlers. As the coaches were talking about, they needed to start fast, they needed to score quickly. So far, they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. I'd say it's a pretty good start for them tonight.
Nick Davila scoring on the ground that time, Kurt, but through 2 possessions, I've been impressed by how calm and cool he is in the pocket. If you don't pressure him, he looks like he's in a Thursday practice.
I think you're right, and the Barnstormers are giving him what I think he likes to throw, the underneath throws, and so he's continuing to be patient. He's not trying to force anything down the field. He's taking the time to check it down to his receivers, continuing to get chunks, and putting the ball in the end zone.
Just getting started in Des Moines, Arizona, up 13-7.
Count down the NFL's top 10s all Memorial Day long. Go to NFL.com and vote to see your favorite episodes in prime time. The NFL's Top 10 Memorial Day Marathon, only on NFL Network.
I'm holding what might seem like a strange combination of football and a basket. 2 different career paths. Football, somebody can get hurt. Believe me, I know that. A career with Longaberger, very prosperous. Recognition, income, trips. Hey, get in the game and roll with Longaberger.
Start your exciting new career now. Go to longaberger.com.
Ramada Worldwide. You do your thing, leave the rest to us. Now do your thing for less. Save 20%. Book now.
Introducing the all-new fantasy game from NFL.com. Easy to sign up, easy to play. Videos, interactive features, and much more. Pre-register today at NFL.com/fantasy.
For the first time ever, get an in-depth look at the finalist cities as they compete to host Super Bowl 48. We take you live as the commissioner reveals the winning bid. Super Bowl Selection Show, live May 25th on NFL Network and NFL.com.
It is Kurt Warner night here in Des Moines, but a couple of quarterbacks by the names of Ryan Venna And Nick Davila taking center stage. Davila to J.J. McKelvey, the first points of this evening. Ryan Venna answered with a rolling to his right strike to Tim Dodge. Another nice drive by the Rattlers led to Nick Davila diving across from inside the one. A missed extra point attempt. And we stand at 13-7 Arizona. 3:07 left in the first quarter. Jason Witzak will kick to the all-time leader in return yards for the Iowa Barnstormers, Tim Dodge. From as deep in his end zone as he could possibly be. Across the 10. To the 19. Ryan Venna and the Barnstormers will begin possession number 2 from their own 19-yard line after this break.
We're in the mood for baby back ribs for dinner tonight. Who's got them? And we're hungry, so it's got to be all you can eat.
On an endless dinner buffet, and all for around $10.
Thanks for dropping by.
Golden Corral is the first ever to offer up all the mouth-watering baby back ribs you want. Fall off the bone baby backs, drenched in your choice of 3 sauces, all on our endless dinner buffet, all for around $10.
$10? Glad we dropped by.
Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
As a quarterback, I learned to make the right decisions on the field. The decision to make Scottsdale Healthcare the official hospital for the Arizona Rattlers was personal. I had shoulder surgery at Shea Medical Center several years ago. With the leading physicians, the latest technology, and a compassionate staff, I know you'll receive world-class patient care from the all-pro team at Scottsdale Healthcare, including ASMC, the official team physicians for the Rattlers. To learn more, call or go online at shc.org.
There were times when we felt that Barry needed to do more. Maybe that was one of the reasons that we started to lose our edge, because there wasn't that threat.
America's game.
Arena football is here. Each Friday, it's lightning-fast, high-flying, wall-crunching football. The most exciting sport indoors. Arena Football Friday. Next Friday, only on NFL Network.
Welcome back to Des Moines, the visiting Arizona Rattlers. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. The Barnstormers only 1 possession. They trail 13-7. Welcome to the broadcast booth. Alongside Kurt Warner, I'm Paul Burmeister. As expected, the quarterbacks Nick Davila and Ryan Venna playing very well. I was wondering during the week, Kurt, what's the biggest advantage for an arena quarterback? The fact that your motion man has a 10-yard head start, or all the blitz limitations on the defense, you know only 4 guys could come max?
Well, I tell you, as a quarterback, you're always excited when the blitz packages are small, when there's not a lot of guys coming after you and able to hit you. But I definitely have to say the high motion, creating a lot of space underneath, is the biggest advantage for a quarterback.
Venna with time. And juggling the football was Todd Blythe, and it is an incomplete pass. And penalty marker on the play.
Shading, number 77 of the defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Automatic first down for the Iowa Barnstormers. And Kurt, 13 years ago, you were the quarterback for the Barnstormers. We've seen some rule changes and tweaks to the AFL game. What looks different now through 1 quarter, or almost through 1 quarter?
Well, I think the biggest thing when I was playing, it was such a man-to-man coverage defense, and things that have changed based on the movement of the jackbacker, being able to go from sideline to sideline, is allowed for more zone coverages to come into play with arena football, causing there to be a little more of a mental aspect to the game.
Give inside to Rodney Filer. He crosses into Arizona territory. And in the arena game, you've only got 3 defensive backs. What's your read for you to tell, your early tell, if it's going to be a zone defense or a man defense?
Well, I mean, it usually comes down to the snap of the ball. Usually at the snap of the ball, if they're playing some kind of zone, that means one of the defensive backs is coming towards the line of scrimmage. If they're staying in man-to-man coverage, that means they're going to stay pretty much even across the board.
Todd Blythe, the high motion man. Ryan Venna looking for Tim Dodge, fires over his head.
Right.
Looks like he may have had Dodge, Kurt, but just kind of overshot it.
You can see on this play that Arizona comes to play a zone coverage. They drop a guy with the high motion to bang the high motion guy, allowing him to play the underneath coverage, and 2 defensive backs deep to to cover the deep receivers.
3rd down and 8 for Ryan Venna in the Barnstormer offense. He has Jesse Schmidt, the #1 wide receiver on this team, in high motion. Flushed out of the pocket, and he will not make it out of the pocket. Goes down, number 56, Ron Jones, his first sack of the season, a loss of 10.
And we heard Coach Guy talk a lot about Ron Jones this week and needing to pick it up, and that he brought him here to create this kind of pressure. And up to this point, you see Darryl Shropshire pushing the middle, causing some pressure up the middle, and allowing those guys on the outside to get their 2nd sack of Vina today.
Jeff Glass attempting a 46-yard field goal. No good. And here comes Terrence Sanders. Penalty flag on the field. Keep in mind that every missed field goal off the nets, that is a live football for both teams to cover. So the Arizona Rattlers, Kurt, come up with a stop, and Coach Guy all week had said, you know, coming up with stops wasn't always a hard time for my defenses, but I got to be honest with you, this year we've struggled that way.
That's exactly what he said, that he's used to getting 50% of the possessions as being stops for his teams, which I thought was dramatically high, but he's set the bar extremely high with his defenses. And one of the things that he talked about to be able to create some more of those stops was to get pressure on the quarterback. And they've done a tremendous job defensively tonight of getting pressure on Vina and, you know, forcing them into some bad throws, forcing them into a couple stops at this point.
There are 2 fouls on the play. We have holding against the receiving team. We also have a dead ball, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team. The holding penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul and will be 1st down.
Coach Guy telling us this week, Kurt, that they've only been getting a couple stops a game, and he's used to getting 5 or 6, and we see him there next to Danny White. The 5 or 6 stops, that's those are high expectations in this league.
Those are high expectations. That, you know, as a quarterback, you automatically think that if you're stopped one time in a game, that it could cost you the game in arena football. So to set standards at 50%, 5 or 6 stops a game is dramatically high. But the thing about Coach Guy is he's been able to do it. He's had a lot of success both at Arena Football 1 and the Arena Football 2 levels defensively. And so he sets the bar high for his guys.
Arizona dominating this one so far, up 6 points, but statistically they have 66 total yards. Meanwhile, the Barnstormers have only 22. Nick Davila 6 for 9, 58 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 INTs to this point. Rod Windsor is the high motion man. There is Windsor. Brought down after a gain of 8. Clocks are at zeros, looking forward to the 2nd quarter. Arizona on top, 13-7.
Got to make a play here. Find the opening. Be precise. Hit that guy. Hit that guy. Got to make a play. Go. Hit that guy. Let's do it again.
Winning takes intense preparation.
Catch it. Catch it.
It starts with Wheaties Fuel. A bold honey cinnamon crunch cereal with complex carbs and B vitamins.
New Wheaties Fuel. Prepare to win.
Welcome to the Pepsi Refresh Project. This year, we're giving over $20 million to fund your ideas to make the world a better place. Here's how it works. You submit ideas. You vote for ideas that you like the best. And each month, the ideas with the most votes get a Pepsi Refresh grant. The Pepsi Refresh Project. It's happening now at refresheverything.com.
Super Bowl 27.
From 1-15 to the Super Bowl.
America's team back on top.
Aikman, Irvin, and Emmett ready to lead the Cowboys to their first ring in 15 years. The Bills, after back-to-back Super Bowl heartbreaks, looking for redemption. These are the moments that last forever. Super Bowl Classics, Bills, Cowboys, tomorrow at 8 on NFL Network.
That's cool. 1800 just poured me a shot. What can your top do? Nothing. 1800 tequila. Change the game.
Imagine if you could keep your engine as close as possible to factory clean. Introducing new Pennzoil Ultra. A revolutionary new synthetic oil that takes clean where it's never been before. Nothing feels like a factory clean engine, and nothing keeps you closer to factory clean than new Pennzoil Ultra motor oil. Get Pennzoil Ultra now at Walmart.
What happened to tequila? These days, it's all velvet ropes and posturing. I don't know about you, but when I drink it, I really like to kick back and be myself. Oops. 1800 tequila. Change the game.
Arizona Rattlers offensive coordinator Danny White loves what he has seen thus far from his quarterback Nick Davila. After he started 1 for 4, 6 consecutive completions. The Rattlers begin quarter number 2 on top, 13-7. First and 10 from their own 12-yard line. Again with time and a wide open Rod Windsor. Showing some patience and finding his way across the 25 and inside the 15-yard line. Well, he was wide open right away, but a heck of a run after the catch. An Arizona gain of 24.
Again, the Barnstormers are trying to play the bend but not break defense. You see them dropping back in zone, double covering McKelvey down the middle of the field, and he does a tremendous job of clearing it out for Windsor underneath, and Windsor, after he catches the ball, does the rest.
I like how Coach Guy described him this morning as his running style, kind of a glide and burst. You saw him there kind of pick and choose his time to really turn on the acceleration, just like his coach told us this morning. Davila looking to Windsor, overshoots him, the coverage, Jason Simpson and Tanner Varner. Danny White mic'd up for us this evening. Let's take a listen to what he has to say to Nick Davila.
Let's go right, bunch, X, out, arrow 9. Out, arrow 9, I want, hey, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Second 10 from the 13, McKelvey in high motion. Davila off his back foot. About the accuracy on that throw to Anthony Mix. Rattler gain of 8. He really fit that one in there, Kurt.
He did. It looked like he had made up his mind beforehand where he was going to throw it. And, you know, he fit it in there between Derek Bird and Jason Simpson. It was a tremendous job of putting the ball out there on time. And you see a great job by Anthony Mix coming back to the football and splitting the difference between the two defenders to make a great catch.
3rd and 1 from the 4. Davila to Windsor, pretty connection. Touchdown Rattlers.
Tremendous patience in the pocket by Davila. As he was sitting back there, the pressure was coming in. He was allowing Windsor to get free behind the Mac, and Jack linebacker was able to set it over the top just as he was getting a hit up the middle.
Like the touch.
Well, the one thing you realize when you get down in the tight red zone like that is how much more involved the Mac and Jack linebackers come in the passing game. So you have to be patient. You have to put a little more loft on the ball, but when your guy gets open that much like Windsor did, it makes it a lot easier on a quarterback.
Snap to Johnny Curtin. He takes it in. 2 points Rattlers. They have a 14-point lead. They have a quarterback with 2 touchdown passes on the evening. The latest from Nick Davila goes to Rod Windsor. We're back after this.
count down the NFL's top 10s all Memorial Day long. Go to NFL.com and vote to see your favorite episodes in prime time. The NFL's Top 10 Memorial Day Marathon, only on NFL Network.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Relive the 2009 season with the best games from Week 10 back to back. Sunday is still game day. Don't miss the action. NFL Replay, Sunday starting at 1, only on NFL Network.
As you can see on this last touchdown pass for the Rattlers, J.J. McKelvey does a great job right here of creating a little bit of a rub for Anthony Mix, forcing the corner to have to fall off a little bit, leaving Rod Windsor to come free in the back of the end zone. Davila does a great job of buying some time and putting it over the top of the MAC linebacker for the touchdown.
Had you played defensive back instead of quarterback, you might call that rub a pick.
You might call it a pick, but that would be illegal. So as a quarterback and as an offensive guy, we would never call it a pick.
I'm with you. Witzak to Dodge. From 7 yards deep, here he comes. And not very far. Didn't even make it to the 1 yard line.
That's one of those plays that you almost wish you would have just gotten tackled in the end zone instead of giving your team 1st and 10 inside the 1 yard line.
Because when you get tackled in the end zone, ball comes out to the 2.5.
Exactly. No safeties involved with the kickoffs. So you would have had, well, at least a little bit more room for your offense to work.
Big series of plays there for Johnny Curtin. The fullback gets the 2-point conversion for Arizona, then comes up with a big tackle on the kickoff inside the 1 yard line. Ryan Venna at this point, a quiet evening through the first quarter. 2 for 4, 15 touchdowns. Did have the nice touchdown pass to Tim Dodge. Looking for Jesse Schmidt. Has it across the 10 yard line, and that's how you get out of the shadow of your own end zone. Venna to Schmidt, 13 yards. Let's take a listen to Venna and John Gregory.
Pete, step it up. Let's go, goddammit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go right, 80. That's option 11. I want ready.
1st and 10 Iowa from the 14 yard line.
Go.
Venna with the 5 steps. Pressure on. A flag is down. The ball flutters out to Tommy Ellingworth. Comes down with it. Iowa will have the ball at the 23 yard line after a gain of 9. If the play stands, we'll see what the penalty flag means to Iowa.
There is no foul for a MAC out of the box. It'll be 2nd down.
Tommy Ellingworth, his first catch of his Iowa Barnstormer career, a memorable one because of, I don't think the ball was intended for him.
Well, Jesse Schmidt did a great job of using the high motion and working to the back post, which is where I think Bennett was going with the football. But because of the pressure, again, by the Rattlers defense, the ball was tipped and deflected. And it was a great job by Tommy Ellingworth to make that catch off the deflection.
Pressure applied by Ron Jones. He already has 1 big sack on the game for Arizona. This time, Venna has plenty of time, looking for Todd Blythe. Broken up nicely by Sergio Gilliam for Arizona. Looks like that ball was thrown maybe a little bit late, looking for Blythe.
Was you see Todd Blythe in motion. He does a great job of getting up on the defender's toes and turning him around. But like you said, Paul, Venna was a little bit late with that throw, allowing the defender to get back in and get a hand on it before before Blythe could catch it.
Inside of 10 minutes now in the second quarter. 3rd down and 1 for Iowa on the 23. There's the AFL's leading rusher at quarterback, looking to sneak across the 25-yard line, but Darryl Shropshire, the biggest linebacker in professional football at over 300 pounds, runs him into the wall.
Well, normally you're at a distinct disadvantage running the football because you've got 3 guys blocking up front and you're usually handing it to your fullback. The distinct advantage that the Iowa Barnstormers have with Venna at quarterback is they allow the fullback to be able to lead block for him and allow him to hold on to the ball and run around the edge, giving them an advantage in the running game that most teams don't have the luxury of having.
4th and 1, you like the call? After he makes the first down.
After he makes the first down, I like the call. But again, another place where the advantage of Venna comes into play is with his size and strength, his ability to push the pile for 1 yard and keep them on serve with the ball instead of having to kick another field goal.
Come on now, let's go. On 2, sit in there. Let's go left.
The Barnstormers fighting to keep pace with Arizona. The defense for the Rattlers has come up with a stop, while the offense, 3 possessions, 3 scores. Iowa looking to respond, now down 21-7. Venna finds Todd Blythe, found himself wide open. Gain of 7. Extracurricular activities. Morris, the Jack linebacker, involved there for Arizona.
There's great patience on Venna on that play. He looked over to his right. Kelvin Morris had actually come from the Jack position to get underneath the short route. He looked him off, got him to work back inside, and was able to complete the short pass along the sideline.
Blythe now the high motion man. 3 steps for Venna. Little bit behind Blythe, but a catchable ball. Incomplete pass. We'll bring up 3rd down and 3 from the 17-yard line.
And we heard Coach Guy talking a lot yesterday about changing his defense from a lot of zone coverage to a man-to-man switch coverage. And you're seeing that take place a lot here as the motion guy comes across. They're sending one guy up to jam the motion guy and allowing the other 2 guys to fall back in man and take the crossers that come into their area, just like they did there.
Penalty marker on the play. Touch pass to Jesse Schmidt. Touchdown, Venna to Schmidt. 17 yards. We do have a penalty marker on the play.
Holding. Defense number 8. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Touchdown stands. Ryan Venna to Jesse Schmidt.
Number 77 is eligible.
Jeff Glass on for the extra point. Kurt, first time we talked about the Arena Football League a few weeks ago, you said it's kind of like backyard football. And to me, that play right there was a backyard kind of play, Venna to Schmidt.
Exactly. As we see on the replay here, Tommy Ellingsworth is the man in high motion. And Brandon Freeman bumps him, grabs him, gets a little bit of too much contact. But Schmidt does a great job on the other end of going up over the top of the defender for the touchdown.
Ramada Worldwide. You do your thing, leave the rest to us. Ramada Worldwide. You do your thing, leave the rest to us. Now do your thing for less. Save 20%. Book now.
Welcome to NFL Total Access,
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. With inside access to all 32 teams all year long. NFL Total Access tomorrow at 7, only on NFL Network.
And Tom Landry asked me, what do you do with those glasses on this dark room? I said, because I'm cool. And when you're cool, the sun is always shining.
NFL Network presents America's Game.
Let's take a look at this last Barnstormer touchdown. You circle Jesse Schmidt right here. On the snap, you see him running a crossing route. He runs into the jack linebacker, and as Ben is buying some time in the backfield, he just pops it up over the top of the defender. Gets over the top, a great throw and a great catch in the corner of the end zone by Jesse Schmidt.
And drops it just over Riley Swanson, the middle safety for Arizona. So far, both teams have 17 plays. The difference is Arizona 111 yards, Iowa only 72. That'll be a touchback. Bring it out to the 5-yard line. Ryan Venna at this point, 6 out of 10, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. What do you think of those 13s, Kurt? 4 13s in the front row, huh?
I still got a couple of those jerseys in my closet. Although my kids are about that age and they have no idea what the wings and the propellers and the goggles on the helmets are all about. It was way before their time, but it's still nice to see those 13 jerseys.
Nick Davila has led the Rattlers to 3 touchdowns on 3 possessions. Quick drop. J.J. McKelvey with a catch and a sprint across the 15-yard line, and Arizona first down after a gain of 11.
And you see Davila playing to his strength, just like we talked to Danny White this week, talking about how patient Davila has been all year long, even making the transition from AF2 to AF1. He continues to be able to be patient within the offense, and we've seen that tonight over and over again, willing to take his check down, move the chains, and it's turned into 21 points for him at this point.
Interesting that John Gregory, the head coach for Iowa, told us he would like to see Davila hit checkdowns because that's what won Iowa the game, in his view, against Chicago a week ago. Davila outside to Windsor. Khalil Carter on the coverage. But that's a gain of 8 for Arizona.
I think the biggest difference with the two teams right now is the pressure that they're getting up front. The Barnstormers are having trouble getting pressure on Davila, allowing him to stand back there, read the deep routes, and come to his underneath routes time and time again. And the Barnstormers really don't have any answer at this point.
2nd and 2 for Davila and the Rattlers. All 3 of his wide receivers will be to his right. Quickly he fires to Windsor across the 25. Just kind of sticks his head down and goes with the flow across the 20-yard line. That's a gain of 8. Again, not the prettiest gain of 8 yards, Kurt, but we're seeing a pattern here. The Arizona passing game is really kind of taken over at this point. Let's go to Anthony Herron on the sidelines.
I'm here with Coach Danny White. Coach, what are you looking for on this play?
Yeah, we're just running JJ on a corner route and sitting the 2 wide guys down, and if they're playing man-to-man, we'll throw the corner.
Might get a touchdown here, Paul.
Or an offsides. Number 9 is Micah King getting a head start.
Encroachment, number 9 of the defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Let's go back to Anthony on the sideline, who's taking a listen to what Coach White has to say.
And Danny White was a little bit frustrated with the penalty. He liked the coverage he saw, Coach. Now here,
we had just what we wanted. Had just what we wanted. And got the penalty, so we're gonna run the same play again.
Come back with the same play.
Same play, looking for number 5, J.J. McKelvey, to run a corner route into the end zone with the other 2 wide receivers sitting down underneath. Jason Simpson with a heck of a play on the coverage and almost an outstanding interception.
It's a play that they've actually run twice down here. And both times Davila's tried to fit it in there to the corner route. That time, a great job by Jason Simpson to get a hand on the football and almost come up with the interception.
Jason Simpson, the Defensive Player of the Week last week for his role in the big win over Chicago. 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, and he also had a block kick. Toss sweep to the left to Johnny Curtin. He's got a head of steam inside the 10-yard line. And we have a late flag. Some extracurricular activity between Tanner Varner and a second flag. Varner getting into it with Kyle Young. Ron Mix, number 19, with his helmet off. Did not see what Ron Mix did as he was asked to leave the field. We'll see how long that's, or Anthony Mix, my apologies.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both dead ball on the offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 for the offense. Also unsportsmanlike conduct on number 75 of the offense. Number 19, correction, number 19. Be a 10-yard penalty, it'll be 3rd down.
Apparently Anthony Mix, number 19, the wide receiver for Arizona, felt he was poked in the eye. And you can see he was still upset.
A couple of big penalties right there. A nice run by Johnny Curtin to take the ball to about the 5-yard line. Would have set him up for great scoring position. But now they're moving him back just outside the 16.
So 1st and 10 now for Arizona. We approach the 3-minute mark. Nick Davila with time to J.J. McKelvey to the 10-yard line. That's a gain of 6 for Arizona. We saw number 4, Kelvin Morris, the starting Jack linebacker, playing wide receiver as Anthony Mix stepped out of the game.
Go get it.
Anthony Herron.
What do you got here, Coach?
Yeah, we got a running play, the pitch to Johnny Curtin, fullback.
Ball.
To the left side, there's Curtin, as Coach White said we would see. Nice run to the 5-yard line. Gain of 5 for Johnny Curtin.
Knowing how difficult it gets to throw the ball in the tight red zone. It's one of the things Danny White talked about this week, that having Johnny Curtin back gives them a distinct advantage to be able to run the football down there instead of having to deal with the Mike and Jack linebackers in the passing game.
8 yards deep in the end zone. It's awfully tough to have an open window with that little field. 1st and goal from the 5. J.J. McKelvey takes the toss sweep. Micah King with the pursuit and the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That's a Rattler loss of 2.
You see a great job by Micah King as he just comes up underneath. The fullback goes out to double the defensive end, and Micah King comes free to make the tackle for loss on McKelvey.
Now Arizona has 2nd and 6, or 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. All 3 of Davila's wide receivers to his right. Morris, McKelvey, and Windsor in high motion. Was looking for Morris. Again, he is the starting Jack linebacker. Got tripped up and fell down. We'll have 3rd and goal from the 6. We have approached the 1-minute mark, and that's when the clock stops for the incompletions.
1-minute timing.
Arizona looking to add to their 21-14 lead.
Iowa has 3 timeouts.
For the first time ever, get an in-depth look at the finalist cities as they compete to host Super Bowl 48. We take you live as the commissioner reveals the winning bid. Super Bowl Selection Show live May 25th on NFL Network and NFL.com.
Arena football is here. Each Friday, it's lightning-fast, high-flying, wall-crunching football. The most exciting sport indoors. Arena Football Friday. Next Friday, only on NFL Network.
Dish Network claims they have the same TV as DirecTV. Come on. When it comes to sports, it's not even close. Regardless of what they tell you, Dish Network refuses to carry MLB Network, Yes Network, MLB Extra Innings, and that's just baseball. So don't be fooled by Dish. Hands down, DirecTV has the most sports programming and exclusive packages you just can't get on cable or Dish Network. When you compare, DirecTV wins every time.
Fast, loose, and as wild as it gets. Saturday night, May 22nd, the stars come out and the gloves come off for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed. It's a winner-take-all dash for cash, and with $1 million on the line, it's checkers or wreckers. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday night at 7 Eastern, Channel 607.
Only on Speed.
Arizona Rattlers on top here at Wells Fargo Arena, 21-14. They are on the move again. 1 minute mark of the second quarter. Paul Burmeister and Kurt Warner in the booth, and we are approaching a very special time from our partner here at halftime. Your jersey's already been retired, so it's not a jersey retirement night, but you will be honored as the very first player to go into the Hall of Fame for the Iowa Barnstormers. You have to give a speech. Are you winging it, or do you have something ready?
No, I'm definitely just winging it. But more importantly than anything, I'm just going to thank the organization, thank the fans here, because as we saw, a lot of 13 jerseys still in the stands today. A lot of those people were following me and supporting me 13 years ago when I was playing for the Iowa Barnstormers. So it's really just a thank you speech for them, for all the support they've given me, not only when I played here, but as I extended my career on in the NFL.
Iowa defense trying to come up with a stop against the Arizona Rattlers. If they do, it would be the very first stop of the evening. There's a 13 that's a little more recent there, Kurt, the red and white 13.
Yeah, no wings, no goggles on that helmet. One that I'm a little bit more familiar with, and my kids are too.
Trio of black and gold 13s as we have 1 minute left in the first half. It's third down and goal for Arizona on the 6-yard line. They lead 21-14. Have not been stopped on the evening. They're looking to make it 4 for 4 on touchdown drives. Davila stepping up and firing to Rod Windsor. He thinks he caught it. The referees say, no, you did not. Little discussion, and it was a trap. It'll bring up 4th and goal from the 6-yard line.
You see McKelvey here start to the middle of the field, puts his foot in the ground, finds
Number
an opening
75 and 99 are
Windsor
eligible.
not quite able to come up with it. Looks like it may have just hit the turf there at the last second.
He was convinced that it didn't, but saw right there, the ball bounced up.
That's their first timeout of the half. That'll be a 30-second timeout.
Jason Witzak on to attempt a field goal that would give Arizona a 10-point lead at the halftime break, or if the defense would hold for the remaining 56 seconds. Field goal would be from 21 yards if it's good.
I need you up. I need you loud. I need you make some noise. Come on now.
You see the great job on the outside by Derek Bird, creating some pressure, making Davila step up, maybe even getting his hand on his arm, causing maybe a little bit of a low throw, and now a field goal attempt instead of a touchdown.
Would be from 22, not 21 yards from Jason Witzak. Up and in. So the Barnstormers prevent a touchdown for the first time this evening. But Witzak tacks on 3. Inside of 1 minute, Arizona now leads by 10.
Relive the 2009 season with the best games from Week 10 back-to-back. Sunday is still game day. Don't miss the action. NFL Replay, Sunday starting at 1, only on NFL Network.
I'm holding what might seem like a strange combination of football and a basket. 2 different career paths. Football, somebody can get hurt. Believe me, I know that. A career with Longaberger, very prosperous. Recognition, income, trips. Hey, get in the game and roll with Longaberger.
Start your exciting new career now. Go to longaberger.com.
Taco Bell's new premium chicken tortada. Fire-grilled all-white meat chicken in your choice of 2 bold flavors. It's a whole lot tastier than a sandwich.
Hey, give me that sandwich.
This ain't a sandwich, it's a tortada.
Don't call it a sandwich.
Crunch time, Wheat Thins. You and your tasty whole grain. This can only end one way. Wheat Thins. Toasted, whole grain, crunch. The crunch is calling.
Count down the NFL's top 10s all Memorial Day long. Go to NFL.com and vote to see your favorite episodes in prime time. The NFL's Top 10 Memorial Day Marathon, only on NFL Network.
The efficiency of the Rattler offense defining this night as we have 53 seconds left in half number 1. Arizona on top, 24-14. We are approaching a very special halftime. In addition to the highlights of the first half, we'll show it to you. Kurt Warner will be inducted into the Barnstormer Hall of Fame, the very first player to go in. We'll have that ceremony and Kurt's speech coming up here at halftime. Jason Witzak set to kick off to Tim Dodge. Onside kick. Heads up play by the Iowa Barnstormers. That's J.J. Payne, the backup fullback. Pouncing on it at the 15 and 15 yards. Not so bad for Ryan Venna and the Iowa offense.
Great field position.
Onside kicks are something we see a little more in this game than the outdoor game, right?
You see a lot more chances just because scoring is so prevalent that it happens nearly every possession, as we've seen with the Rattlers scoring on every possession up to this point. So you see more chances being taken by coaches to try to get that turn of possession in their favor, especially in the last minute of the half, because they know that a lot of things can happen with the stoppage of the clock.
Jesse Schmidt, the high motion man. And looking his way. Blocked out. Ron Jones, Venna picks it back up. To the 10-yard line, he's pushed out of bounds. It's a gain of 6. We also have a penalty marker on the play.
Dog, I'm taking 4 or 5 steps. I'm getting...
Holding, defense number 21, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, half the distance from the previous spot, automatic first down.
First down,
Riley Swanson, the guilty party there, Kurt.
It looked as Jesse Schmidt was taking his high motion and trying to get over the top of Riley Swanson. On the jam, he just continued to hold him throughout his route. It looked like Venna was going to him with the football before it was knocked out, but a heads-up play, picking it back up and gaining a first down for the Barnstormers.
From the 7-yard line here, what are you thinking about? What was your favorite play from this area?
Well, the favorite play is you love to send crossers over the middle of the field. You try to trips to one side, bring a crosser over the top, see if you can get in over the top of the linebackers. But one of the favorite plays that we always ran with the Barnstormers was similar to that play right there. It was a little bit of a sprint out, freeing up the quarterback to have some room.
10 yards from the previous spot, replay, first down.
Pass interference on the Barnstormers. And your options are pretty limited, and this is based off of what you have told me the past few weeks, Kurt. When you get down that close to the end zone, you're almost better off from the 17-yard line. You have more options.
Sometimes you are, and that's why I think sprinting out gives you a little bit more space out there to work instead of trying to work the linebackers in that situation, allow them to get involved in the passing game. Sprinting out, especially with a guy like Venna, allows you the opportunity to create some space for your receivers, but also give him the option to run on the outside if it's open.
First and goal from the 17. Venna off his back foot to a wide open Jesse Schmidt. Touchdown Iowa. 17 yards from Ryan Brian Venna to Jesse Schmidt.
One of the favorite routes in arena football is what they call the option route, where the high motion guy gets the option to take it to the post or to the corner. You see Jesse Schmidt do a great job here of getting up on the toes of Riley Swanson, giving him a move to the post and working back to the corner for the touchdown.
Impressed with how Venna, the throwing angle there was not easy. It was an open receiver, but he was falling back and kind of leaning to his left.
Well, again, a situation where the pressure is causing him to make some off-balance throws, to move in the pocket. But he did a great job of staying in the pocket there and getting the ball out in just the nick of time to be able to complete the touchdown to Schmidt.
Extra point by Jeff Glass blocked, so the Arizona lead not cut to 3, cut to 4. Rattlers on top 24-20 and 34.8 seconds in the outdoor game, Kurt. It gives you a little bit of time, but for the AFL, you got over 30 seconds. I mean, you don't really even have to change your playbook.
You don't have to change your playbook at all. You know, it's known for the big plays and the quick scores in arena football. And I remember playing in a number of football games where there were 2 and 3 touchdowns scored in the last 20, 30 seconds of a half. So it's not unthinkable to realize there could be 1 or 2 more scores before we head into halftime.
You see the score right now, 24-20. We're going to let you know and show you right now how exactly we got there. Nick Davila calm to a wide open J.J. McKelvey for the first score. Venna answered with a rolling right flick to Tim Dodge. Then Davila on the quarterback sneak, then back to the air to an open Rod Windsor. Venna would respond to Jesse Schmidt, not once but twice. We had a field moments ago. Venna falling away to Jesse Schmidt again in the right corner, that back end zone there for John Gregory's Barnstormers. And Venna and Schmidt, a big reason why Iowa is still in this one at 24-20. This would be a good time for the Barnstormer defense to step up and get something done. We see a version of the onside kick right to Anthony Mix. To the second was because it was an onside kick, but it wasn't really either.
No, it looked like they were trying to put it over the top, hopefully get it over the defenders, see if they could get a big bounce and recover it. But you see, because of
offside,
this last minute of play and the stoppage of the play.
From the end of the run, first down.
Because of the stoppage of the clock, you see them taking some opportunities to allow the other team to have 15 yards to score, knowing that they're going to have plenty of time to get the ball back and score on their end.
So the Barnstormers a moment ago took advantage of the fact that they took over on the 15-yard line. Now Arizona 1-ups them, or 7-ups them. They are first and goal on the 8-yard line. 30 seconds left. Give inside to Johnny Curtin. Positive play for Arizona inside the 5-yard line. A gain of 4.
And that play does 2 things for the Rattlers. Not only does it move them closer, put them in better scoring position, but it also keeps that clock running, allowing them to work the clock down in hopes of not giving the Barnstormers another opportunity
That's
to
their
score.
second time out of the half.
Take a listen to Coach White as soon as he comes up with his thoughts here for Nick Davila. Arizona has 1 timeout left.
Let's go. There you go. Right bunch wide, slant right. Hey, let's go. Listen up. Right bunch wide, slant. Hey, listen up. Right bunch wide, slant right. I want to slant right.
Nick Davila with 2 touchdown passes already on the evening and also a touchdown run. Second goal from the 4. Rod Windsor takes the handoff. And yes, 6 more points for Arizona.
You saw a good example of that glide and burst on that play by Windsor. Got the ball, hesitated in the hole, and then hit the burst and was able to just get the ball into the end zone.
He's got a good feel, good patience, and really knowing when to turn it on, and that's not really something you can coach.
No, and I think that's exactly what Coach Guy was talking about, is that he's got the ability to understand what's going on out there to buy some time, get up on the defender's toes, find the hole, and then allow that burst to come into play.
Witzak up and in. Arizona now leading 31-20 with 8 seconds left.
And you'll see the patience of Windsor as he gets the ball here, hesitates in the hole, allows for the hole to get open, and then he bursts through it and is able to get just the nose of the football into the end zone.
You get a running back to hesitate, put his shoulder pads down. You're happy with him. This is a wide receiver who 3 years ago had been nothing but a quarterback.
Well, the one thing that we're beginning to realize with the wide receivers, even in the arena game, is how big and strong they are. You know, the whole mix of receivers for the Arizona Rattlers, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", great size. So you don't worry about it as much when you put them in there amongst the trees to have to run the ball into the end zone.
An official invitation to stay with us for halftime. In addition to highlights of all the action in the first half here in Des Moines, Kurt Warner will be the very first Barnstormer inducted into the Hall of Fame. We'll show you the ceremony and let you take a listen to what Kurt has to say. And I'm hopeful Kurt makes it from the booth, because we're not cutting the break up here. He's here till we hit zeros, and then you got the little sprint downstairs to be honored.
Well, you know, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun in front of stands full of people with Barnstormer jerseys on. But I'm looking forward to the honor and getting a chance to speak to the folks.
Tim Dodge across the 10-yard line out to the 12. We have 4.8 seconds left. All right, Kurt, play offensive coordinator for me here. What do you call?
Well, I think because of the arena game and because you can launch the ball into the end zone at any given point, I think you have to take a shot here. That you've got the nets, let your receivers get down under the nets, take a heave, let it bounce off the nets, and see if one of your guys can get the ricochet and get you an easy touchdown before half.
Did you practice a lot throwing it? I mean, in this position in practice, throwing it off the net and seeing what the wide receivers could do?
You actually did, because different areas of the net, the ball bounces in different directions. So you tried to figure out where the softest parts were, where the ball was going to bounce off the net. So if you ever got in this kind of situation, you knew where to send the receivers, you knew where you were trying to throw the football to give them the best opportunity to score the touchdown.
It's like knowing the dead spots in the floor at the old Boston Garden.
That's exactly right. You know, and I think the Arizona Rattlers have done both things that you need to do in arena football to win this first half. The first thing is you want to hold serve. You want to continue to score every time you touch the ball, which they've done tonight. And the second thing is you love to be the last one to score at the end of the first half. To have that momentum, to know that you've got that in your favor going into halftime. And outside of a miracle Hail Mary right here, they're going to have accomplished both of those things.
77 is eligible.
Not going to throw it off the nets here. They're going to try and kick it between them. Jeff Glass from 54 yards away. If it gets there, and it does not, this is Terrence Sanders bringing it out on what will be the final play of half number one. Out to the 10-yard line, and that will do it for half number one. Arizona Rattlers pretty comfortable in that 31-20 lead. Iowa cut it to 24-20, but Arizona back on top at 11 at halftime. Let's check in with Anthony Herron on the sidelines.
Here, Rattlers coach Kevin Guy, you've had to work from behind a lot of games this season, coach, but is this the fast start you've been hoping for?
Yeah, the guys are giving us what we wanted. We had a hard week of practice this week, very physical, full pads all 3 days, and they got the message. We came out, you know, Iowa gets the ball second half. When we came out, it was very physical, and we're up 2 possessions. That's what we want.
And, of course, you're known for your defensive mentality. How do you feel about the way they've been getting after Ryan Venna?
We're doing a pretty good job. I mean, we got, I think, 2 sacks in the first half, and there was a couple other times we had a chance as well. So we got some good coverage behind it. We just got to build on it in the second half.
We're anticipating any adjustments, anything different we'll see in the third quarter?
No, I was giving us everything that we saw on film. The only thing they did was run a post corner out of trip, which we haven't seen, but that's what they got the last touchdown on.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Paul.
All right, Coach. Anthony, thank you very much. Coming right up after the break, highlights of all the first half action, and also you can take a look and see what it looks like as Kurt Warner becomes the first Barnstormer to go into the Iowa Barnstormer Hall of Fame. We're back after this.
Hi.
The $2 meal deal. Is that really 3 items for $2?
Sure is.
So I buy a beefy 5-layer burrito and drink, and you throw in the chips for free?
No, you pay for the burrito and chips, and you get the drink for free.
Actually, the drink and the chips are $2, and the burrito is free.
Tell you what, just give me $2 and it's all free.
3 items, $2. Now that's a deal.
Let's do it.
Taco Bell's $2 meal deal. 4 different meals to choose from, each with a Taco Bell original, Doritos chips, and a medium soda. It's 3 for $2 and only at Taco Bell.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
The dipper, the dunker, the grabber, the popper, the breaker, the shaker, the tipper, the topper, the twofer, the twister, the pincher, the plopper, the wedger, the wheeler, the scraper, the double dipper. However you like to top, pop, dunk, or dip, only Tostitos has your tortilla chip.
Super Bowl 27.
From 1 and 15 to the Super Bowl.
America's team back on top. Aikman, Irvin, and Emmett ready to lead the Cowboys to their first ring in 15 years. The Bills, after back-to-back Super Bowl heartbreaks, looking for redemption. These are the moments that last forever. Super Bowl Classics, Bills, Cowboys, tomorrow at 8 on NFL Network.
We have reached halftime here on Arena Football Friday in Des Moines. The Arizona Rattlers come in from Phoenix to take an 11-point lead at the break, 31-20. Now, a week ago, it was the Iowa defense that led to the huge upset at very powerful Chicago. Chicago had only lost 1 time. The Barnstormers held them to 30 points. And as you can see, they've already given up 1 more point through only 1/2 a play as Arizona leads 31-20. This morning, Coach Gregory said he would like to put some dents in Nick Davila, but Davila has put dents in the Iowa defense. The early score to McKelvey. Venna responded with a little pitch to Tim Dodge in the back of the end zone. Davila also has a rushing touchdown and a nice touch pass to Rod Windsor. Ryan Venna did not go away thanks to Jesse Schmidt and that corner of the end zone. Witzak added a field goal, and Venna falling away to Jesse Schmidt once again. Venna 3 touchdown passes in the first half, and Rod Windsor showing some patience and some strength, and he punches that one into the end zone, and that's how we got to 31-20. It's a quarterback-driven league, and the quarterback numbers on this evening certainly support that. Davila, 14 out of 21, 0 picks to go along with a couple of touchdowns, and Ryan Venna, only 11 attempts, but he's made a lot with those 11 attempts. 7 for 11, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So those were the highlights as promised, and coming up here momentarily, Kurt Warner is going to be honored for all he did for the Iowa Barnstormers, and really, let's be honest, for all he did after he was an Iowa Barnstormer. The Super Bowl MVP, the couple of MVP seasons in the National Football League. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl, a team that did not know Super Bowl before Kurt got there, and did the same thing in Arizona. He will be inducted into the Iowa Barnstormers Hall of Fame as the very first player to receive that honor. Right now, I hand it off to the public address announcer here at Wells Fargo Arena, Scott Casper.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in attendance here at Wellmark Field, and to those watching worldwide on the NFL Network, to this historic night for the Iowa Barnstormers and the Arena Football League. Tonight, we honor the AFL's best-known player as we induct Iowa's own Kurt Warner as the inaugural member of the Iowa Barnstormers Hall of Fame. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to midfield and welcome Barnstormers team president Jeff Lamberti, along with the commissioner of the Arena Football League, Jerry Kurz.
Hey, Iowa Barnstormer fans, how you doing tonight? On behalf of the entire Iowa Barnstormer organization, we're really honored to have Kurt Warner in the house tonight. And more importantly, we're honored to be able tonight to induct Kurt Warner as the first member of the Iowa Barnstormers Hall of Fame. Now, I have to say there was a little bit of confusion about whether we were retiring, re-retiring, or something with his jersey. I have to tell you that's unnecessary because Kurt Warner's number 13 was, is, and will remain retired by the Iowa Barnstormers. This is a great night for our organization because Kurt Warner helped put the Iowa Barnstormers on the map and helps demonstrate to the rest of the country that big-time arena football belonged in Des Moines, Iowa. So how fitting is it for him to be here during this inaugural year for us in our return, or as we like to say, back where we belong. You know, we honor Kurt both for what he did for the Iowa Barnstormers, his remarkable NFL career, and quite honestly, the type of individual that he is. We're just happy as Iowa Barnstormers that we got a little piece of that remarkable journey. Now, I know Kurt's going to find this out, if he hasn't already, because once you're an Iowa Barnstormer, you're always an Iowa Barnstormer. Now, I'd like to introduce the commissioner of the Arena Football League to say a few words. He is very responsible for us being back at the highest level of arena football. He's been around the game from the beginning. We thought it was appropriate for him to say a few words as well. So I want to introduce the commissioner of the Arena Football League, Jerry Kurz.
It's both my privilege and honor to represent the Arena Football League and to be here tonight for this momentous occasion. I represent all our member teams, all our coaches, our owners, our players, and our great fans across the country. It's my privilege to be here on the night of probably one of our greatest players of all time, but more than anything, one of our best contributors to put arena football not only on the map here, but all over the country. It also gives me great honor that Kurt tonight is accompanied by his wife Brenda, because both of them together exemplify what we want from members of the Arena Football family. Kurt on the field and Kurt and Brenda off the field. From the time of his tenure as a Barnstormer, he and Brenda have worked with people in the community that were in need. And what they continue to do exemplifies what we want to demonstrate as members of the Arena Football family. I know of no better market that Kurt could have started from, and I have the distinct privilege of having seen him from the beginning as a Barnstormer. What Kurt along with Brenda, have been able to do is demonstrate to the world that this is a great sport, besides just being a great sports town here, but that the sport of arena football is a real sport. You're real sports fans here and across the country, and I'm honored to be here to honor Kurt along with these great fans. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. And now, because I know you didn't come here to listen to me, would you please give a warm Iowa Barnstormer welcome to the man of the hour, Kurt Warner.
I tell you what, it is a joy and an exciting night to be able to come back here and be inducted into the Barnstormer Hall of Fame. And I want you guys to know that I am proud of the fact that once a Barnstormer, always a Barnstormer. Because a lot of people tend to give me credit for moving on, playing in the NFL, and bringing a lot of notoriety to Arena Football League, to the Iowa Barnstormers. But I want all of you guys to know that without the Iowa Barnstormers, there is no Kurt Warner. There is no NFL career. There is no opportunities to play in the Super Bowls. That it all started right here in Iowa. And it all started because of all of you. That it took a lot of people to come out and support my dream by coming out to the stadium and encouraging us and supporting us as a football team. And it took that same support when I left Iowa and I went to St. Louis and New York and Arizona. And what I know is that all of you, you've been supporting me from day one, and you continue to support me to this day. And so, as the first member of the Barnstormer Hall of Fame, and on behalf of my wife and my family, we want to say thank you to all of you guys, because it's your support allowing us to fulfill our dream, just like you're doing tonight, allowing all these young men that are out here playing football tonight to have an opportunity to fulfill their dream. So without all of you, without this organization, without Arena Football, I would have never had that opportunity. So to all of you, I say thank you for your part in this, and I am proud that I was a Barnstormer and will always be a Barnstormer. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Kurt. Before we get to the actual Hall of Fame ceremony, we have a couple things that we'd like to do. Earlier today, some of our great community members helped raise money for the First Things First Foundation, which is the charity, the foundation that Kurt and Brenda have put together to do good things for people in need. And particularly I want to mention Steve Lupke from Toyota of Des Moines, which really made it possible. So what we'd like to do is, and we'll get some photos here, is present to your foundation a check in the amount of $50,000 so you can continue your good work. Thank you. And we do understand that your foundation is a big part of what you intend to do in the future and to do wonderful things for people in need. Now, I've got one other thing before we get to the ceremony. You know, we do talk about we want you to be always a Barnstormer. and we're celebrating the past, but this organization intends to be around for a long, long time. And so we thought you needed a brand new Iowa Barnstormer jersey. So here we are.
I just got to say one thing. I was thinking about it today when I was playing here in Iowa that Brenda and I only had 2 kids at the time. So then I went on and played in the NFL and had the opportunity to play and have some success. And it's funny because I still break out my Barnstormer stuff every once in a while back at the house. The helmet with the goggles, the jersey with the wings. And all my little guys look at me and they say, "What are those, Dad? When did you play for those teams?" So they're not even really familiar with the Iowa Barnstormers. So I'm just going to ask for one more request. If I could get a couple smaller jerseys so I could take home and share, so we can make it a family thing, a family of Barnstormers. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
And we will most certainly make sure we do that because we want to be the talk of the town back in Arizona as you take your family out with those Iowa Barnstormer jerseys. Well, with that, there's really only one thing left to do, and if you'd kind of join me on this side, we'll face this way. As I said, the Iowa Barnstormer organization is extremely proud to have this opportunity to welcome Kurt as the first member of the Hall of Fame. And it brings the past with the future, and we want this to be something that all of our fans can remember for a long, long time. So right now, we're going to raise the banner and formally induct Kurt Warner as the first member of the Iowa Barnstormer Hall of Fame. Thank you all.
For the first time ever, get an in-depth look at the finalist cities as they compete to host Super Bowl 48. We take you live as the commissioner reveals the winning bid. Super Bowl Selection Show live May 25th on NFL Network and NFL.com.
I'm holding what might seem like a strange combination, a football and a basket. 2 different career paths. Football, somebody can get hurt. Believe me, I know that. A career with Longaberger, very prosperous. Recognition, income, trips. Hey, get in the game and roll with Longaberger.
Start your exciting new career now. Go to longaberger.com.
The NFL and its players are committed to improving the health of kids everywhere. That's why we're encouraging them to get at least 60 minutes of exercise and play every day. It's called NFL Play 60, the best 60 minutes of the day. Join the movement at NFLRush.com.
Thanks to the new Venture card from Capital One, we get double miles with every purchase. So we earned a tropical vacation in half the time. We earn double miles every time we use our card. Double miles add up fast, so we can bring the whole gang.
Awesome!
It's hard to beat double miles. Everyone knows 2 is better than 1.
Introducing the Venture Card from Capital One with double miles on every purchase every day. Go to CapitalOne.com.
Hey, what's in your wallet? Wait up!
How's your team looking this year? The NFL Touch Women's Fashion Collection by Alyssa Milano. Available at select retailers and NFLshop.com. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
Relive the 2009 season with the best games from Week 10 back to back. Sunday is still game day. Don't miss the action. NFL Replay, Sunday starting at 1, only on NFL Network.
So Kurt Warner is officially a member, the only member of the Iowa Barnstormers Hall of Fame. His massive jersey raised to the roof here, and quite a ceremony. You heard Kurt talk there with his wife Brenda, or standing next to his wife Brenda. He is making his way up to the broadcast booth now as we are getting set to bring you half number 2. Arizona leading 31-20. They've been in control. They've been led by a quarterback who's been calm and comfortable the entire evening. Nick Davila has been, well, he's been well protected. He's had open wide receivers. It all started on the very first possession. A touch pass to J.J. McKelvey. Ryan Venner responds with a strike to Tim Dodge in the back of the end zone. Davila also has a rushing touchdown, courtesy of the quarterback sneak, and he also had the touch pass to Rod Windsor in the back of the end zone. Give a lot of credit to Ryan Venner for the way he fought back. A couple of touchdown passes late, 3 in the first half, falling away to Jesse Schmidt. That was his second touchdown pass to Jesse Schmidt in the first half. Rod Windsor put his receiving duties aside to run one in, and then Brenda and Kurt Warner, very proud to watch Kurt Warner's jersey, number 13. It's not actually his jersey, but as you can see, you get the idea. Big number 13 raised to the roof, and we are set for half number 2. I saw Kurt poking his head in here to the broadcast booth. Kurt, you're welcome to come on back inside. And Tim Dodge gets it fired up here across the 10-yard line to the 12. And the Barnstormers have some work to do. Led by Ryan Venna, they trail 31-20. Last time I was in this building, Kurt, the Barnstormers also trailed by 10 points. They trail by 11 now. But the point is, their victory over Oklahoma City 4 weeks ago came after a double-digit deficit in the second half was overcome.
Well, you're right. There's all kinds of possibilities at this point, but the defense is going to have to step up and make a stop. And I think the offensive line is going to have to do a better job of protecting their quarterback to allow them to get back into it the second half.
Venna to Jesse Schmidt, run out of bounds. Up against the wall by Terrence Sanders, a gain of 2. So Kurt, it looked good from up here. How did it feel from down there?
You know, it felt great. The people here continue to support what I'm about, what our family's about, what we did starting so many years ago here in this building or in this uniform. And I can't say thanks enough to them, to this organization, for the opportunity they gave me, the support that they've given me over the years, and honored to be a part of their Hall of Fame.
2nd and 8. Venna stepping up. Leaves it a little bit too outside to Todd Blythe. And what I like, Kurt, talked about how proud you were a couple of times to have been a part of this history.
Pretty neat feeling seeing your number, the wings going up to the top of the rafter. Just surreal. And it's one of those things that you dream of as a as a player, as a young kid growing up, that you would eventually get the opportunity to be in a Hall of Fame of any sort. And to have that opportunity in the first league here with the Barnstormers, a league that gave me the opportunity, is definitely something I'm proud of.
3rd and 8, incomplete, rolling right. Venna to Jesse Schmidt. Penalty flag on the play. Take a listen here and see what the infraction was.
Illegal formation, number 99 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
Daryl Shropshire, normally a defensive lineman, playing for the very first time as the MAC linebacker offside. One thing I always wondered, Kurt, we saw the giant 13 go into the roof. Why 13?
You know, it was one of those things where I was 12 in high school, 1 and 12 when I went off to college, but there was an upperclassman that had that number. So he gave me the one closest to it, which happened to be 13, and it's been a great way to kind of display my faith over the years, that it's not about luck, but it's more about my faith and belief in myself and in my God.
3rd and 3, Venna slips it out to Rodney Filer across the 25-yard line. Well-designed play, good execution. Barnstormer gain of 7 for a 1st down. As a quarterback, sometimes it's easy to just want to go downfield all the time, but the smart ones don't forget about the running backs, because normally they're wide open out of the backfield.
Exactly, because nobody thinks about them very often. They don't touch the ball, running the football. You don't put them in pass routes very often, so they can get lost in the mix very often, especially when you only need a couple yards to get a 1st down, like Iowa did there to Rodney Filer.
1st and 10 from the 24. Todd Blythe, the high motion man, to Venna's left. That's exactly where he's looking, and he is wide open. Quite a move he put on Terrence Sanders. 24 yards, Venna to Blythe.
And you see Todd Blythe coming in high motion, and they've cleared out, put all the receivers on the other side of the field to allow Blythe to work the middle or back to the corner. And I think for the 3rd time tonight, they've been able to beat the Rattlers to the corner for a touchdown.
Post corner, a huge part of really every offense I've seen in the AFL.
Every part of the offense, but there's also an added benefit to the fact that most of these receivers have the ability to take it to the post if the defender allows them to. So they get a two-way go, which is a distinct advantage for a receiver in this league.
Second half gets started exactly the way John Gregory wanted it to. Todd Blythe hauls it in, and the Barnstormers now trail by 4.
Super Bowl 27.
From 1 and 15 to the Super Bowl.
America's team back on top. Aikman, Irvin, and Emmett ready to lead the Cowboys to their first ring in 15 years. The Bills, after back-to-back Super Bowl heartbreaks, looking for redemption. These are the moments that last forever. Super Bowl Classics, Bills, Cowboys, tomorrow at 8 on NFL Network.
Got another one for you, Max. Belongs to Molly and Alex.
I'll take good care of them.
In times like this, you can really use a friend. You have enough to do without worrying about your car. That's why Esurance lets you manage your repairs online. Email questions and your mechanic will be there for you. The shop will even send you daily photos of your repairs in progress. Isn't it nice to know someone's looking out for you?
I'm gonna miss those crazy kids.
Online repair monitoring.
Iowa Barnstormers get right to business here in half number 2. One possession, a quick possession at that. Ends with Ryan Venna to a wide open Todd Blythe. And the Rattlers now lead 31-27. Get a first look at NFL.com's new fantasy game. It is easy to sign up and also easy to play. All you have to do is go to NFL.com/fantasy to learn more. Jet blast to Terrence Sanders from 6 yards. Jason Simpson hits him but does not bring him down across the 15. Micah King gets him down at the 17-yard line. And That is where Nick Davila and the Rattlers offense will begin. And in the first half, Kurt, they did have to kick one field goal, but I can also say accurately that every time they touched the football, every possession led to points.
You're exactly right. And the offense did their part by coming out after the half, scoring a touchdown, cutting into the lead. Now the onus is on the defense to come up with that one big stop to allow the Barnstormers to hold serve and get back on top.
Davila looked to his left, came back across the middle. J.J. McKelvey for a gain of 7. We'll take a listen here to quarterback Nick Davila and offensive coordinator Danny White.
Right wing back, rip 10. Hey, let's go, let's go. Right wing back, rip 10, on 2, Eddie.
Second and 3 inches shy of the midfield stripe for Nick Davila. Sliding in the pocket, finding J.J. McKelvey inside the 10-yard line to the 7, a Rattler gain of 18. Jason Simpson there on the tackle. I like how he looked to his left first, Kurt, kind of reshuffled himself and found the open man.
He did a great job of working the jack backer to the outside, allowed him to overrun McKelvey and was able to just drop it in behind him again for another nice gain on an underneath throw.
All 3 of his receivers to his left. McKelvey, the high motion man. 5 steps and plenty of time. This is Rod Windsor. Nice defense by Khalil Carter. Khalil Carter, 34 years old, and every time, this is the 3rd game I've done here, the Barnstormers, every time John Gregory has a chance to speak of him, he talks about how often Khalil Carter likes to talk.
Yeah, he talks about how he likes to talk, but how he likes to take those young guys under his wing and coach them up as well. And, you know, he brings a veteran atmosphere to a league now that is based around a lot of rookies or a lot of young guys. And so he's been a great leader for this young Barnstormer football team.
Second goal from the 7. Tanner Varner had his hands on it. Would have been interception number 4 on the season. Instead, it's just a pass broken up, and the Rattlers have 3rd and goal from the 7.
You notice in this situation, Tanner Varner has been playing deep as a defensive back for the Barnstormers. The last few plays, they put him in at the jack linebacker and allowed him to roam the field a little bit and make some plays, as we see right there, almost coming up with a big interception that could have turned the game around.
Not surprising after hearing Coach Gregory speak of him as a really aggressive, almost too aggressive tackler for a defensive back. Davila to Anthony Mix. Incomplete pass. Referee crew will sort this one out. It's a bit of a blind spot for us here in the booth, that corner of the end zone. Take a look here and see what they come up with.
Illegal defense, number 9, Mack out of the box. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Take a look at the actual touchdown, Kurt, but I'd like to hear exactly what Mack out of the box means.
Number 75 and number 99.
There's a great job here, if you can see, a double rub by the Rattlers receiver, allowing Anthony Nick just to pop into the flat and come wide open. And he does a great job of holding on to the ball just long enough to get it across the end zone before it came out.
And the out of the box?
The out of the box, there's a 5-yard box where the linebackers have to line up on any given play. With the new rules, it allows the jack linebacker to not have to stay in that box until the ball is thrown, like the rule was back when I played. Now they have the ability to go from coast to coast or sideline to sideline and make a play on the football.
Arizona responds to Iowa's early second half touchdown. It's Davila to Mix, and the lead is back to 11.
Gotta make a play here. Find the opening. Be precise. Hit that guy. Hit that guy. Gotta make a play. Go. Hit that guy. Let's do it again.
Winning takes intense preparation.
Catch it. Catch it.
It starts with Wheaties Fuel.
A bold honey cinnamon crunch cereal with
Welcome to NFL Total Access.
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. Go behind the scenes with exclusive team cams,
It's all about the defense, putting me in position to make plays.
expert analysis,
When is it going to happen? When is it going to explode? Every game on your schedule is the most important game.
and inside access to all 32 teams all year long.
You're not watching, I don't know where you at.
NFL Total Access tomorrow at 7, only on NFL Network.
8:17 left in quarter number 3. The visiting Arizona Rattlers on top of the Barnstormers, 38-27. Paul Burmeister alongside Kurt Warner here in the broadcast booth in court. And Kurt, you have been a tremendous advocate of the Arena Football League. How did it help you the most become a good NFL quarterback?
The first thing it did was it allowed me opportunities to play, like I've said so many times. But in the actual game, there's a couple things that I think it really exemplifies as a quarterback and really teaches you and allows you to hone. And those two things are having a quick release, because things happen so fast in this game. Being able to get back, hit that back foot and get the ball out of your hands. And also accuracy. That windows are small, especially as you get into the red zone. Windows get tighter and tighter. And those are the two things that I've been known for throughout my whole career. So you have to assume that a lot of that was developed here in the Arena Football League.
Tim Dodge across the 10-yard line and brought down at the 12-yard line. So that was another question I had for you, Kurt, is that the anticipation and the accuracy, something that you had at Northern Iowa, maybe developed a little bit in the Packers camp, or did the Arena League, should we give them full credit for bringing it out of you?
Well, it's that old question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And, as a quarterback, you always feel like you have those skills, and I was able to be accurate and release the ball quick my whole career. But knowing that that's a huge part of arena football, understanding that that's where most of my grooming took place, there's no doubt that I've got to give a little bit of credit to the Arena Football League for helping develop those skills in me.
Van, a nice job of avoiding the rush. I don't know about the throw across his body out of bounds, but he avoids a negative play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Jamarcus Russell out of a job, former #1 overall pick, and people throwing out suggestions, obviously, to Jamarcus and how he can further his NFL career, maybe in the CFL or the UFL or maybe even the AFL.
Right.
Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's one of those leagues where you're not going to get all the mental adjustments that you have to make in the NFL. You're not going to get 11 guys. You're not going to see the zone blitzes. Those things are going to be limited. But when it comes to playing and being able to hone certain skills, I think it could be a league that would be good for any quarterback.
Guerrero pressuring. Ryan Venett just barely gets it away. And as we look at the Arena Football League, and obviously quarterbacks have to have the anticipation and the accuracy, not many of the quarterbacks getting opportunities since you did to move on to the National Football League. Do you think it is because NFL quarterbacks have to have such a command of what the 11 defenders are doing and understand blitzes? In this league, the blitz is it's awfully limited. Only 4 guys can come.
Well, I think that's one of those things that you have to take the next step when you leave this league, is that you can hone some things, you can become a good player, you can get better at a lot of different things in this league, but there's always going to be that transition of going to the 11-man game and the adjustments that you have to make.
Venett Ellingworth across the 20-yard line. Barnstormer gain of 9.
Interesting situation here. Looks like it's going to be 4th down and short. Obviously, with them being behind at this point, they need to go for it. They need to keep the chains moving and get more points on the board. So it'll be interesting to see what Iowa does in this situation.
Coach Guy and his team put themselves in the position by coming up with that one stop. The one stop isn't very many, but it's the only stop in this game, and that's why they lead by 11 points. 4th and 1 from the 22. Bennett keeps it himself. Little extra effort there, going to get Iowa the 1st down.
And again, a distinct advantage having a quarterback that can run. You saw them run the fullback wide, trying to get the linebacker, the defensive end, to push out with him. Venner read that, cut up the middle, and like you said, with that second effort, did a great job of just getting enough for a 1st down.
Had a chance to speak with Kevin Guy twice this week, once in person, or once this morning and once during the week, and he really emphasized how important it was to get pressure on Ryan Venett because he hadn't seen that from his team yet. And I'd say so far, advantage Arizona. Venett has been under duress. Rolling out to his right, maybe to avoid some of that pressure, finds Todd Blythe at the 23-yard line, and that's an Iowa gain of 4, putting them into Arizona territory. Anthony Herron, let's see if we can get a play call.
Screen coming. 90 double screen.
So 90 double screen on this play, Paul. Going to put the backers in a bind right here.
All right, Anthony, thank you very much. 2nd down and 7, Iowa from the 23-yard line. Clock ticking now inside 4:35. Jesse Schmidt, the high motion man for Venna. Little slip screen to Rodney Filer. Nice move to get down to the 16-yard line, making Riley Swanson miss. Kelvin Morris on the tackle, but that's an Iowa gain of 7. Once again, a play to kind of slow down that rush, Kurt.
Well, I agree with you that I think that's been the difference in the game up to this point. Is Venna's played a good football game, done a great job of buying some time, moving around with the pressure, but it's been those couple times where he couldn't hold on to the ball, where he had to throw it away, that have been the difference in this game and forced them to have a couple turnovers.
1st and 10 now on the 15 as we get inside the 4-minute mark.
Go.
Tommy Ellingworth in his first AFL game, the receiver to the far right, Jesse Schmidt. In high motion, this is Ellingworth inside the 5-yard line. Gain of 12, it'll be 1st and goal, Barnstormers. This morning, John Gregory told us, quote, Tommy Ellingworth is gonna be a star.
He's a guy that hasn't really had an opportunity to really get on the field much, and they were looking for that opportunity tonight to get him the ball a couple times to see what he could do. And he did a great job on this play of buying some time, but Jesse Schmidt did a tremendous job of blocking Riley Swanson and taking him out into the corner as well, taking 2 guys with 1 block, freeing up Ellsworth for that run.
1st and goal from the 3, give inside to Rodney Filer. Tough to bring down, but they do get him down to the 2-yard line. Rodney in his 11th AFL season. Brought down by Shropshire. He's proud of himself for that play he made from linebacker. As we mentioned, a 310-pound linebacker for the first time tonight.
It was a rare opportunity when Venna didn't keep the ball, that he read the tackle and handed it off to Filer, trying to get the opening up the middle. Might have been better in that situation to hold on to it and go with the sprint out or possibly running in around the corner.
2nd goal from the 2. Venna rolling to his left. Todd Blythe, one-handed catch. 6 points, Iowa.
Another shot of what Iowa loves to do. They love to get Venna out on the outside, get him into space where he can run or pass. Both other receivers crossing the field. Open Blythe wide open in the corner with a nice one-handed catch.
Todd Blythe now with 14 touchdowns in his very first Arena Football League season. Coming into the game, averaging a touchdown catch every 3 catches. No surprise, Todd Blythe with the ball in the end zone. 31 touchdowns as an Iowa State Cyclone. That is a Iowa State record, and he is off to a heck of a start in the AFL. Venna to Blythe. We have a 4-point game.
There were times when we felt that Barry needed to do more. Maybe that was one of the reasons that we started to lose our edge, because there wasn't that threat.
America's game. Thanks to the new Venture card from Capital One, we get double miles on every purchase. So we earned a ski trip twice as fast. We get double miles every time we use our card. I'll take this. Double miles add up quick. And all of those. So we brought the whole gang. One adult, one goat, please. It's hard to beat double miles. Everyone knows 2 is better than 1.
Introducing the Venture Card from Capital One with double miles on every purchase every day. Go to CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet?
Oh, poor baby.
Coppertone Sport outshines. It protects you from the most damaging rays across 100% of the UVA-UVB spectrum, and the protection stays on better because it's ultra sweat-proof. Coppertone Sport outshines, so you can enjoy the sun.
Home improvement project you want to do? Take it on. Waste Management's new Bagster can take on the waste, up to 3,300 pounds worth. Schedule a pickup from Waste Management, and it's gone. Bagster. Take it on. Find out more at thebagster.com.
Count down the NFL's top 10s all Memorial Day long. Go to NFL.com and vote to see your favorite episodes in prime time. The NFL's Top 10 Memorial Day Marathon, only on NFL Network.
We've got ourselves a ball game here on Arena Football Friday in Des Moines. Arizona leading by 4 over the home team Barnstormers. The team's playing well, and at halftime, the real treat of this night, the most well-known Iowa Barnstormer in history, Kurt Warner, joined by his wife Brenda, and over 10,000 fans here inside Wells Fargo Arena watched a big one and a big 3. The big number 13 being raised to the roof. Kurt is the very first Iowa Barnstormer to be inducted into the Iowa Barnstormer Hall of Fame. Big smile on your face, and why not?
Why not? Coming back here home, really for the first time in a long time, and to be honored in that way in front of this crowd, in front of those that have supported me for so long, was a great moment for me and my family.
It's Aaron Sanders tackled by Micah King at the 15-yard line. We do have a penalty marker on the play.
There is no foul for an illegal block in the back. The defender was blocked into the other defender.
I liked how you requested during your speech that you got a couple of smaller size 13s for your little guys, because I would imagine at this point all they have is Arizona Cardinals jerseys.
Well, it's funny that a couple days after I retired, my youngest son was already asking if he could put away the Cardinals 13 jersey and go out and get some of the other prominent players in the NFL. So it didn't take long after that, but he definitely doesn't have a Barnstormer jersey. Would love to get him one.
Davila to mix, Tanner Varner. Khalil Carter bring him down at the 17-yard line. I got to ask you, what players do they want besides Kurt Warner?
Well, we've got an Adrian Peterson, we've got a Ray Lewis, we've got a Deshaun Jackson. So we've got a number of different ones, but I just know the 13 jerseys are way in the bottom of the drawer, and I don't see him going to school anymore with the young man. But maybe if I could bring home a little different look, a jersey that he hasn't seen before, maybe a Barnstormer 13 might get worn to school once or twice.
Arizona quarterback Nick Davila, 18 for 27, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Right now facing 2nd down 8. Short side to mix. Tim Dodge from his wide receiver position playing a little defensive back on the tackle. Mix to the 22-yard line. That's a gain of 4.
The Barnstormers offense continues to do their part and score here in the second half, but you watch Arizona and they're just going to dig and duck. They're taking the short stuff. Davila's done a great job all night of taking what the Barnstormers defense has given them, and at some point in time the Barnstormer defense is going to have to come up to try to get a stop, to try to make a play on the ball, and we'll see if Arizona can take advantage of that and get behind him.
While the Rattler defense has put pressure on Venna, Davila has remained unscathed through 3 quarters here. That's going to do it for 3 quarters, and Arizona maintains a 4-point lead. We head to quarter number 4, 38-34. Check out the big 13 in the rafters.
The dipper, the dunker, the grabber, the popper, the breaker, the shaker, the tipper, the topper, the twofer, the twister, the pincher, the plopper, the wedger, the wheeler, the scraper, the double dipper. However you like to top, pop, dunk, or dip, only Tostitos has your tortilla chip.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Welcome to NFL Total Access,
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. Go behind the scenes with exclusive team cams.
It's all about the defense, putting me in position to make plays.
Expert analysis.
When is it going to happen? When is it going to explode? Every game on your schedule is the most important game.
And inside access to all 32 teams all year long.
You're not watching, I don't know where you at.
NFL Total Access, tomorrow at 7, only on NFL Network.
This won't be human. Not entirely. You know I love you, don't you?
Rated R. Starts June 4th. Fast, loose, and as wild as it gets. Saturday night, May 22nd, the stars come out and the gloves come off for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed. It's a winner-take-all dash for cash, and with $1 million on the line, it's checkers or wreckers. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday night at 7 Eastern, Channel 607.
Only on Speed.
Welcome back to Des Moines Arena Football Friday. There you can see exactly how we got to the end of the third quarter score. The Rattlers on top, 38-34. At the top of the broadcast, we mentioned how important this game was to both Iowa and Arizona. We take a look at the Midwest Division, probably the best division in the AFL. Not a losing record there. Iowa fighting back to 3-3, only 2 games behind Milwaukee. 4-3 would feel a lot different than 3-4. As for the Arizona Rattlers, they also have a record they're not exactly proud of. However, only 2 games behind division-leading Spokane. So each team fighting to stay right there in a division race. We begin the fourth quarter with Arizona with the football and a 4-point lead. Third down and 3. J.J. McKelvey, the high motion man. This, however, is the run game with Johnny Curtin. Run out of bounds by Micah King. We do have a penalty marker on the play.
We have a personal foul, chop block, number 55 of the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot, replay, third down.
Kurt, we see Tim Dodge. I mentioned a moment ago, the wide receiver playing defensive back, the old Iron Man concept of arena football, but gotta be honest, it's not something that we see that much, certainly when you compare back to 13 years ago when you played.
You're exactly right. When I started playing the game, it was known as the Iron Man game. It was really built around the two-way player. There was just 2 specialists on each side, usually a quarterback, an offensive specialist, and a couple DBs. But, you know, they've changed those rules recently to an unlimited substitution, allowing for more skill to develop in the arena game.
3rd and 13 from the 12-yard line. Quickly out to Windsor, the former college quarterback looking to throw. Just dumps it off underneath to J.J. McKelvey to the 22-yard line. A Rattler gain of 8. Now, most of the time you see a wide receiver force a pass downfield, but you can see that Windsor was a former quarterback because he did the right thing.
Exactly. They gave him a couple options. Normally in a situation like that, you give him one option, throw it deep or run. But in this situation, you can see that they tried to loop Johnny Curtin out of the backfield. That's who Windsor was looking to throw to. He bought himself a little bit of time, was able to hit McKelvey on the sideline. As you said, the quarterback background definitely helped out on that play.
Big 4th down coming up right here for Arizona. 4th down and 4. Danny White wants a timeout to talk it over.
Arizona, that's their first timeout of the half.
Danny White and the Rattler offense facing a 4th and 4. They've yet to be stopped on the night. Stick around to see what happens next.
Arena football is here. Each Friday, it's lightning-fast, high-flying, wall-crunching football. The most exciting sport indoors. Arena Football Friday. Next Friday, only on NFL Network.
What most call innovation, we call common sense. Meet the new generation of Craftsman hand tools. The pivoting elbow wrench, tackling tight spaces. The ratcheting open-end wrench, fastening with ease. The cross-force wrench, creating greater torque. All guaranteed for life. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
I rely on my pit crew for a lot of things, both on and off the track. But when it comes to my cars, I take care of them myself because I know I'm going to do it right. Armor All. Care for your car. And to protect against brake dust and grime, try new Armor All Wheel Protectant.
Relive the 2009 season with the best games from Week 10 back to back. Sunday is still game day. Don't miss the action. NFL Replay, Sunday starting at 1, only on NFL Network.
Arizona Rattlers lead by 4, but they face 4th down and 4. Kurt Warner, what play would you want to hear called here?
Well, I think the play you're going to call is what you feel most comfortable with. Your favorite play as a quarterback to get your best receivers in the best situation to win. Looks like in this situation they might try to isolate Rod Windsor on a defensive back to one side.
When they break the huddle, reset the play clock to 25.
What was your favorite play when you were a Barnstormer in this
My favorite play was always the option play. You get one guy to go deep, give him the option to go inside or out, and make sure you keep the other guys moving. You don't want them to ever be stopped in a stationary position where a defensive back can come up and break up a pass.
Windsor with time, looking for Davila with time, looking for Windsor, and the pass broken up. Nice play by Khalil Carter. That is Iowa stop number 1 on this game.
And Davila hasn't made many mistakes tonight. He's done a great job of finding the guy that's open. But if you look at the high motion man here, McKelvey, he does a great job of beating his defender right off the bat and is open down the middle. Davila didn't see him and went outside to Windsor. And along with the defender and the wall, made it a tough throw and catch.
Nice play by Khalil Carter, 34 years old, 37 tackles on the season, has a couple of interceptions, and now a huge pass broken up. The Barnstormer offense now trailing by 4, already in Rattler territory at the 21. Schmidt and Ellingworth to the left, Todd Blythe to the right. Shuffling in the pocket, stepping up, finding Jesse Schmidt. He's inside the 10-yard line. Down to the 7, a first down for the Barnstormers after a gain of 13. We talked about the defenses coming up with stops all night, Curtin. The very first time the Barnstormers had a stop, and now they're even with Arizona because they also have only one.
I don't think it could have come at a better time. The offense has done their part in the second half of scoring every time they've touched it. We knew the defense was going to have to come up with that one key stop if the Barnstormers was going to get back into it, and that was the one key stop. Now we'll see if the offense can answer and put points on the board.
All 3 wide receivers to Vena's right. Rolling to his right, we have a penalty marker on the play, looking for Jesse Schmidt, and that pass was intercepted by Terrence Sanders. Sort this one out here and see exactly what the penalty flag means. Alex Guerrero is confident that it is on Iowa.
We have 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Personal foul, chop block, number 70 of the offense. Holding, defense, number 9. Those penalties offset, will replay, first down.
So the Rattlers that close to the second stop of the evening. As it stands, Iowa still has the football in excellent position to move ahead.
The Barnstormers went back to what looks to be their bread and butter play. I think that's the 3rd time they've run that play tonight. Jesse Schmidt got inside, looked like he was just trying to plant his foot and bounce back out from the defender. The defender grabbed a hold of him along with the chop block. At least it gives them another chance.
Vena to Jesse Schmidt at the goal line. Didn't quite get there. Gain of 7. Barnstormers will set up shop inside the 1, closer to the goal line than the 1.
And a great job here by Jesse Schmidt reading the zone. Sent Ellingsworth across the middle, 1 to the flat. And you see him, he just finds an opening in the zone, just a bit short of the end zone, but a great job by him to find that opening.
Second goal from inside the 1. Vena gives to Filer. No, he keeps it himself. Touchdown and runs over Terrence Sanders. The Barnstormers have the lead.
I think after the last time down, when he handed the ball off to Rodney Filer, he noticed that he could have walked into the end zone around the edge. So when they got back down here tight, they ran the same play again.
Number 77
with a little extra emphasis by
eligible.
Vena on the edge by running over Terrence Sanders.
Jeff Glass on to make it a 3-point Barnstormer lead. This is the very first lead of the game for the Iowa Barnstormers. 41-38 your score early in the fourth. Ryan Venna had 12 touchdowns coming into this one. Go ahead and make it 13 with the exclamation point. Iowa on top.
We're in the mood for baby back ribs for dinner tonight. Who's got them?
And we're hungry, so it's got to be all you can eat.
On an endless dinner buffet, and all for around 10 bucks.
Thanks for dropping by.
Golden Corral is the first ever to offer up all the mouth-watering baby back ribs you want. Fall off the bone baby backs, drenched in your choice of 3 sauces, all on our endless dinner buffet, all for around 10 bucks.
10 bucks? Glad we dropped by.
Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness.
Welcome to the Pepsi Refresh Project. This year, we're giving over $20 million to fund your ideas to make the world a better place. Here's how it works. You submit ideas. You vote for ideas that you like the best. And each month, the ideas with the most votes get a Pepsi Refresh grant. The Pepsi Refresh Project. It's happening now at refresheverything.com.
Super Bowl 27.
From 1-15 to the Super Bowl.
America's team back on top. Aikman, Irvin, and Emmett ready to lead the Cowboys to their first ring in 15 years. The Bills, after back-to-back Super Bowl heartbreaks, looking for redemption. These are the moments that last forever. Super Bowl Classics, Bills, Cowboys, tomorrow at 8 on NFL Network.
Reason to be excited, reason to ring the bell here in Des Moines if you are a Barnstormers fan. At halftime, they trailed 31-20. Ryan Venna led them right out of the gate, finding a wide open Todd Blythe. The Davila to mix did keep Arizona right there, but it has been a Ryan Venna-led second half. A couple of touchdown passes, a strong touchdown run in Iowa right now. 21-7 run to start the second half. They take the lead for the very first time of this game, 41-38. Lots to like about Ryan Venna, Kurt.
Lots to like. You know, he's not so orthodox. He might not always have the greatest numbers, but he does a great job of leading his football team, doing whatever they need him to do to get them points on the board.
And this is Terrence Sanders putting points on the board for Arizona. Penalty marker on the play, but that touchdown will remain. 56-yard return. Iowa's first lead was short-lived.
It's like Terrence Sanders was a little bit upset about that exclamation point on Venna's touchdown run. So he got his revenge by taking the kickoff all the way back to the house to give the Rattlers another lead.
Had Venna not run him over, he would have been tackled. Gave him the extra burst.
And that's how quickly things can change in arena football. Any given play, any given time, touchdowns can be scored. It's what makes it so exciting.
The result of the play is a touchdown after the
drives
score,
head coaches crazy.
Unsportsmanlike number 2 of Arizona. That penalty will be enforced on the first play after the kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike conduct as Sanders waved
number 99 and
to the
number
defense
75
going into the end zone.
Are eligible.
Found a seam early here, Kurt, and after he broke through it, it was all over right there.
It was great blocking up front. He made one guy miss, and it was all him against the kicker, and we know who's going to win that matchup most of the time.
Jason Witzak on to return the Arizona lead to 4. And that's what he does. Rattlers 45, Barnstormers 41. Kurt, you mentioned a little blocking up front, and then it was just the returner, Terrence Sanders, against the kicker, Jeff Glass, and that's no contest.
Not with that kind of speed. They did a great job of blocking right around the 5-yard line. You can make one guy miss and get to the second level, as Terrence Sanders did. You can get to the house most of the time.
Going back to our very first conversation this spring, Kurt, about the Arena Football League, and then the few times we talked this week, you mentioned more than once about as a quarterback in this league, yeah, the rules are there for you to excel and score a lot of points, but you've got a lot of pressure on you because if you have more than one stop, if you don't score on more than one occasion, that comes right back to you. And you said you felt that pressure your entire career here.
Well, I think you're starting to see it tonight, that each team has just had one stop, and that's the difference in the ball game up to this point. So as a quarterback, you feel your obligation to your team is to lead your team to points and preferably touchdowns every single time you touch it, because if you don't, things can change very quickly in this game, and you can lose scoring every time but one. And so it puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but it puts you in a lot of distinct pressure type situations that helped you and helped me when I moved on to the next level.
Especially here in the fourth quarter. I mean, there's tremendous pressure. Each one of these quarterbacks going to be expected to lead touchdown drives every time they have the ball.
You're exactly right. Both quarterbacks have played really well tonight. Haven't made many mistakes, but whoever makes that first one, or maybe the most critical one here in the fourth quarter, may be the difference.
Tim Dodge trying to return the favor, and that's not going to happen. Anthony Mix brings him down inside the 10-yard line. Well, one thing the Barnstormers have been able to do, especially here at home, come from behind late in the game.
The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
And the
will
one
now
thing
be
you understand with 10 minutes to go
run.
here in the fourth quarter is there's plenty of time. You just have to stay on track. You don't have to try to force things. You don't have to try to get big plays. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to score. You just want to put yourself in a great position to win when you get down to that 1-minute warning.
The injured Arizona Rattler is the fullback Johnny Curtin, number 37. He just came down
Can't really
on that right
see
foot.
exactly what happened there, but just planted that right knee on the turf. Looks like maybe his knee caught. We'll have to see how serious it is, but that is tough for the Arizona Rattlers. Danny White was talking all week about what a big advantage Johnny Curtin was. If this is a serious injury, he's going to be on the bench for a while longer.
We'll take a break with the Rattlers leading by 4.
For the first time ever, get an in-depth look at the finalist cities as they compete to host Super Bowl 48. We take you live as the commissioner reveals the winning bid. Super Bowl Selection Show live May 25th on NFL Network and NFL.com.
Count down the NFL's top 10s all Memorial Day long. Go to NFL.com and vote to see your favorite episodes in prime time. The NFL's Top 10 Memorial Day Marathon, only on NFL Network.
The Dawson foul, tell me about it.
Yeah, the closing's in Boston.
Okay.
So get your game face on.
It's on.
Happy birthday! All right.
Guys never change. Neither do we. Jim Beam, the bourbon since 1795.
Fast, loose, and as wild as it gets. Saturday night, May 22nd, the stars come out and the gloves come off for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed. It's a winner-take-all dash for cash, and with $1 million on the line, it's checkers or records. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday night at 7 Eastern, Channel 607.
Only on Speed.
Arizona Rattlers leading the Iowa Barnstormers 45-41. You are watching Arena Football Friday here on NFL Network, and next Friday, the Tampa Bay Storm head to Orlando to take on the Predators. Don't miss live, fast-paced, action-packed Arena Football Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. The Orlando Predators, huge win tonight, knocking off Milwaukee. The Iron only had one loss coming into that one. Predators beat them 58-54. Big for Iowa, because if Iowa wins, they'll only be a game back in the Midwest. Venna, Jesse Schmidt looking for that first down, approaching the 20-yard line. An Iowa gain of 10. Iowa at the bottom of the Midwest standings, but that's a little better than it sounds, because sitting at 3-3 now, Milwaukee at 5-2. If the Barnstormers win, they move to 4-3 and only a game behind the leading Iron. Cleveland, really an improved football team, going to be a team you're going to hear from here in the next couple months. In Chicago, very solid, though struggling recently at 4-2. Todd Blythe, the high motion man on 1st and 10. Venna with time to Blythe. Those are the ones that keep you up at night, Kurt, when you know you had somebody.
They are the ones. They've hit the corner a number of times today. Blythe does a great job against Brandon Freeman, getting up on his toes, turning him around, and taking the corner again. Then it was just a little bit impatient, threw the ball a little bit quick, and missed Blythe right there in the corner. You see it right there. Had him wide open in the corner, but he just released it before Blythe could get out of his cut, and they just didn't sync up.
Bringing up second down and 10 from the 20-yard line. All three of Vena's receivers to his right. Looking for Ellingworth, and he is wide open. Touchdown, Iowa. Ryan Venna to Tommy Ellingworth for 20 yards, and the Barnstormers retake the lead.
I have a feeling we're going to be hearing that name Ellingsworth a little bit more coming from the Barnstormers camp. As Coach Gregory said, he was just looking to get him out there and get him some opportunities to make plays, and he's made a number of them tonight, including that go-ahead touchdown right there.
Excellent work by Venna coming off the missed touchdown attempt, put that one behind him, and laid in the touchdown pass to a wide open Tommy Ellingworth, his first touchdown as a Barnstormer. Jeff Glass makes it a 3-point Iowa lead, 48-45.
It looks like the short motion by Ellingsworth froze the defenders. You can see them all standing around waiting to see what was going to happen, and Ellingsworth just split the trio to the back of the end zone with nobody around him.
As we mentioned, John Gregory said he is going to be a star in this league, getting his first action of the season, really his first action as an Arena Football League wide receiver, because Eric McCown, the usual number 3 wideout, has a pulled quad.
And
injured.
You
have an injured Barnstormer on the field, Kurt. Go ahead.
Well, you see tonight, too, that he's been able to utilize not only his speed, but also his quickness as well, which is what they liked about him coming into the night. They've got a couple other receivers in Schmidt and Blythe that are bigger receivers. But to have a guy that's quick, can do some of those underneath routes, can get down the field as well with that speed, is what they like so much about Tommy Ellingsworth.
As we take a look at Ryan Venna, he's been tremendous the last 2 weeks, Kurt. You combine what he did at Chicago, what he's done tonight in the last 2 weeks, 39 out of 54, 12 touchdowns.
He's continued to do a great job for them since being inserted really in week number 1. He continues to take on the leadership role, and as we talked about, his numbers may not be gaudy by arena standards, but he brings so much more to the table.
Here's what the Iowa Barnstormers have coming up, a team that began 0-2, now at 3-3, looking at this schedule in the next 5 weeks. We will update you on the injured Barnstormer on the field after this break. Iowa coming back to the lead once again, 48-45.
Thanks to the new Venture Card from Capital One, we get double miles with every purchase. So we earned a tropical vacation in half the time. We earn double miles every time we use our card. Double miles add up fast, so we can bring the whole gang.
Awesome!
It's hard to beat double miles. Everyone knows 2 is better than 1.
Introducing the Venture Card from Capital One with double miles on every purchase every day. Go to CapitalOne.com.
Hey, what's in your wallet? Wait up!
The Dipper, the Dunker, the Grabber, the Popper, the Breaker, the Shaker, the Tipper, the Topper, the Twofer, the Twister, the Pincher, the Plopper, the Wedger, the Wheeler, the Scraper, the Double Dipper. However you like to top, pop, dunk, or dip, only Tostitos has your tortilla chip.
Welcome to NFL Total Access,
the show that takes you inside the locker room and down on the field. With inside access to all 32 teams all year long. NFL Total Access coming up next, only on NFL Network. Arena football is here. Each Friday, it's lightning-fast, high-flying, wall-crunching football. The most exciting sport indoors. Arena Football Friday. Next Friday, only on NFL Network.
Welcome back to Des Moines Arena Football Friday. Alongside Kurt Warner in the booth, I'm Paul Burmeister. Anthony Herron joins us on the sidelines in Iowa. Coming back once again to take its second lead of the game, 48-45. And as we went to break, you could see number 70, Mike Dansby of Iowa, the injured player, right in the middle of your screen. Right leg just gets caved in upon. Now, it looks serious on the field, and we still do not have an official injury update. However, he did walk off the field under the help of his teammates, so we are hoping for the best for Mike Dansby from Jackson State. Terrence Sanders took one back moments ago, doesn't make it across the 10-yard line this time. Jason Simpson, J.J. Payne bring him down at the 8-yard line. So this is going to be the first time, Kurt, that we see the Arizona offense operate when they're behind, because they took the lead a moment ago thanks to the special teams. But this will be the first time Nick Davila has to bring the offense from a deficit.
The thing you have to realize is 7.5 minutes in arena football is an eternity. You can be patient. You can continue to do what you've done the whole game. Take what the defense gives you. Don't need to force it down the field, because you're going to have plenty of opportunities to get back in the ballgame.
First and 10, Davila with time, which has been a theme all evening, finding J.J. McKelvey across the middle for a gain of 16.
Hey! Right X back, special quick screen left to Y. Hey, let's go. Right X back, special quick screen left to Y. I'm on it.
Davila has McKelvey and Windsor to his left and Anthony Mix to his right. Just fires it out to Windsor. Didn't look like he had much. That was an excellent job of finding 6 yards, because it looked like it was going to be a no gain.
It did. Maybe if he would have stayed outside. You never want to go back inside as a little guy, because you know that's where all the help's coming from. McKelvey did a great job of banging the guy that was trying to come up and press him, so I thought there might have been a lane to the outside, but Windsor did a nice job of gaining 5 yards, putting him in a manageable situation. 2nd and 5 from the 20. 6:14 and counting left in the game, with Iowa on top by 3. Davila firing behind Anthony Mix. Those are the situations, Kurt, you don't know sitting up here. Was the receiver supposed to settle down, or did the quarterback just miss him? Well, it looked like the Barnstormers played a zone there. So as Anthony Mix was coming across the field, I think Davila got a little glimpse of Khalil Carter sitting over on the other side. Didn't want to lead his receiver into Carter, so he tried to put it on his back shoulder and just missed. You see as Mix starts to cross the field, you see Carter sitting over there reading the coverage, reading the eyes of Davila. And instead of leading him into coverage, he throws it a little bit behind him.
Rattlers need to get to the 15 to keep the chains moving. Davila setting up in rhythm to J.J. McKelvey inside the 2-yard line. Gain of 18.
Great timing and great touch by Davila. Allowing J.J. McKelvey just the patience to get across the defensive back. Lays it up and over the Jack linebacker. Right in McKelvey's hands. McKelvey goes up and gets it. Easy throw and catch.
McKelvey now 11 catches tonight, 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. And just like John Gregory told us this morning, Kurt, if we don't get pressure on Nick Davila, he looks pretty back there, and that's exactly the way it's played out so far tonight. Toss to McKelvey. Nice tackle by Tanner Varner. We do have a penalty marker on the play. Tanner Varner, the leading tackler in the AFL. And we have an injured Rattler on the 6-yard line. Looks like it's number 19,
Illegal
Anthony Mix.
formation on the offense. Tight end and the split end were on the same side. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
It is Anthony Mix, the wide receiver out of Auburn. NFL experience with the New York Giants and also the Washington Redskins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Danny White told us all week that he was going to try to run the ball when he got tight into the end zone. He's shown a number of different looks, hand the ball to a number of different guys, but they haven't had a whole lot of success other than Rod Windsor's touchdown run. We'll see if they continue to go back to the run or if they try to throw it in from here.
Anthony Mix gingerly walking off the field. Now for the Rattlers here, Kurt, this is important, at least when you look at what's happening on the field, because their receiver to come in after Mix, and we've already seen it once tonight, is actually the starting Jack linebacker, Kelvin Morris.
You're exactly right. Here's where the Iron Man comes in again, that you want to have at least one guy on your team that you know can flip sides, bring something to both positions. And Kelvin Morris is that guy for the Rattlers. We'll see if they try to get it to Windsor or McKelvey, or they make Morris a part of the mix.
Alex Guerrero, the defensive end, is in at fullback. Davila again with time. Excellent catch by J.J. McKelvey. We do have a penalty marker on the field. We'll see if the touchdown stands.
Illegal contact, defense number 6. Penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Jason Simpson with the infraction for Iowa, but that is
number
another
75
touchdown
and
from
number
Davila
99 are eligible.
to McKelvey, his 3rd touchdown reception of the night.
That's one thing the Arizona coaches were talking about all week, is the size and strength of this receiving core that they've got. They mentioned how they love to get down here into the red zone and get those guys in one-on-one situations where Davila can just put the ball away from the defender and allow them to make a catch like McKelvey did.
Jason Witzak makes it 52-48, but we just saw again good patience from Davila and the touchdown catch from McKelvey.
You see McKelvey just gets position on Simpson, and Davila throws it to him on the outside.
Let's go to Anthony Herron on the sidelines.
The Rattler coach Kevin Gott, looks like the momentum swung a little bit in this game, but even though you're finishing down numbers, you're able to get a touchdown there right on this drive.
Yeah, no, that's good that we scored. Now we just got to get one stop here so we can get back up 2 possessions. You know, we had a busted coverage on that last series. Cannot happen. You know, and we got a couple of injuries, so we just got to suck it up and play.
Assess the play so far with your young quarterback, Nick Davila.
Nick's doing a great job. He's doing a great job managing the offense. We've been up. I think that we've only been stopped once tonight, so he's doing a great job.
Thanks, Coach. Paul.
He is correct. They've been stopped only one time, and this is where it gets really exciting, Kurt. We've had 4 lead changes in the second half, and we have 4 minutes left with Arizona leading 52-48.
For so much of the game, you talk about stops being so important. If you can just break serve, the other chance to win the game comes down to that last minute, is being able to manage the clock and being able to have the ball in your hands with the last possession.
Witzak to Tim Dodge. Now that is okay. That is not 2 points. It's not a safety. The ball will come out to the 2.5-yard line here in the AFL game.
And a smart move by Tim Dodge. Not being able to see any open space, just slowed down right there at the end of the end zone to give his team at least a couple more yards of breathing room.
All right, Ryan Vena's 19 out of 28, 6 touchdowns, 0 picks. Jesse Schmidt's his leading wide receiver. What's your game plan here with the final possessions here for the Barnstormers?
Again, I think you just need to be patient. There's plenty of time. You don't need to force anything. You don't want to make that big mistake in this situation. You just want to stay on course. 4 minutes is a lot of time in arena football.
Vena to Jesse Schmidt, puts his head down out to the 15-yard line, a gain of 13.
It seems to be the way both teams are playing it. Both defenses are sitting back saying, we're going to make you beat us by throwing it underneath. We're going to make you make a mistake. And both offenses have done a great job of being patient and continuing to take the underneath stuff time and time again.
How difficult was it for you in this league and also the NFL to be consistently patient?
It's difficult unless that's your first read. If your first read is to throw underneath, it's easy to see it and take it. But in this league, very often, you're looking to take the big throw just like that instead of throw underneath.
Now, Tommy Ellingworth was running free, and Vena let it go earlier than Ellingworth wanted because he had no idea that football was coming.
Ellingsworth did a great job of getting up on the toes of Riley Swanson, turning him around, and again, getting the corner route wide open. Then it just wasn't quite patient enough, let it go, and Ellingsworth was not able to pick up the ball on course and catch an easy touchdown.
Hard to fault Venna for getting rid of that one early, because that's exactly what you're told. Don't be the guy who hangs on to it too long.
Go!
2nd and 10 now from the 15. Penalty flag on the play, and Venna goes down. Shropshire in with the sack for a loss of 3, and the Rattlers have certainly won the game of pressuring the quarterback to this point. See what the penalty marker is for.
Illegal formation on the offense. Tight end and a split end on the same side of the formation. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
And up to this point, you've seen the pressure has been what's caused the stops every single time. And here another situation where they get a sack on Venna. Let's see if it turns into another stop for the Rattlers defense.
So trailing by 4, now inside 2 minutes to play. Barnstormers need to get to the 25-yard line for a first down. 3rd and 12. Venna wanted to come to the left, back to the right for Ellingworth, and Terrence Sanders almost had an interception. And the Barnstormers have a difficult decision here, trailing by 4 deep in their own territory. You kick the football away, Kurt, or you go for it?
I think in this situation with 1:35 to go, you've got to go for it. You know that there's going to be plenty of opportunities for both teams to have the ball in this last minute. I think you go for it in this situation. But the offensive line is going to have to do a better job. There's another situation where the pressure in Venna's face caused him to throw the ball high to Ellingsworth and not be able to complete that 3rd down.
See John Gregory here discussing with Ryan Venna. You were in this situation with him many times from 95 to 97. What is John Gregory like? What was he like in these kind of situations?
You know, he was very calm and collected. The one thing that he always understood the game, he understood there was going to be more opportunities, even with 1:27 left. In the NFL, in other games, 1:27 is not very much time, and it's hard to get the ball back. But you know, in arena football, there's going to be 2 or 3 more changes of possessions in 1:27 that you can be patient. You don't feel like you have to get it all back on one play, that whether they kick it or whether they go for it, they know they're going to have opportunities to change the complexion of this game before it's over.
In this game, in this league, on 4th and 12, in this situation, would you be expecting man defense or zone defense?
I would be expecting a zone defense where they're going to sit back, not give you a one-on-one big play or a big play touchdown. They're going to try to make you throw it underneath like you've done all day and make you run for that first down. But maybe they can get somebody in a man situation or a blown coverage.
Jesse Schmidt, the high motion man, coming backside to Todd Blythe. A strike. Will be a first down, but we do have a penalty marker on the play. If it stands, it's Venna to Blythe for 14 yards.
Holding, number 55 of the offense, half the distance to the goal, replay 4th down.
Pete Traynor flagged for holding, negating a 14-yard pickup.
And the pressure of the Rattlers continues to be the difference in this game. You see Shropshire coming up the middle, able to get around the center, create some pressure on Venna. And again, it's making the difference in this game is that pressure that we talked about with Coach Guy all week, that they haven't been able to generate very much, making a few changes to try to generate more pressure tonight, and they've done a great job of pressuring Venna all night long.
We are at the 1 minute mark.
Arizona has 2 timeouts remaining.
4th down facing Iowa. They trail 52 to 48.
27.
From 1 and 15 to the Super Bowl.
America's team back on top. Aikman, Irvin, and Emmett ready to lead the Cowboys to their first ring in 15 years. The Bills, after back-to-back Super Bowl heartbreaks, looking for redemption. These are the moments that last forever. Super Bowl Classics, Bills, Cowboys, tomorrow at 8 on NFL Network.
1 minute mark, the Iowa Barnstormers facing a 4th down and 18 deep in their own territory. Paul Burmeister and Kurt Warner in the booth. And Kurt, almost a full game in the books here. Would you say at this point, from what you've seen, the AFL alive and well?
I would definitely say it's alive and well. And talking with a number of people involved with the league, they feel very good about the way it's come back this year. They feel the business model is in place. They feel like the talent's as good as it's ever been. And I think tonight's display has shown just that.
Would you agree that the talent level is what you saw back in 95 through 97?
I would say it's probably better. Now that they've gone away from the Iron Man a little bit more, players are able to specify what they want to do. They're able to hone their craft a little bit more. And because of that, it's made the players, the game, I think, that much better.
All right, 4th and 18, a minute left for Iowa. They trail 52 to 48. With time, looking for Ellingworth, left it behind him. And the Rattlers come up with a vital stop here inside of 1 minute.
Doesn't matter what league you're in, when you get into a 13 or a 3rd or a 4th and 18, it's never easy to convert. Looked like Venna tried to just slip it behind the defender to Ellsworth. He hadn't even turned his head and wasn't able to get his hands on the football.
Tommy Ellingworth playing for the very first time this season. From Augustana College, a little bit of time with the Vikings, to getting his first taste of the AFL here. Another situation, Kurt, where you don't know if he came out of his break too early or too late. He's obviously not on the same page.
It's one of those situations where you don't really have a play for 4th and 18. So Venna looked like he was trying to just create something, saw a little bit of an opening, probably wasn't the way the route was designed. Ellsworth wasn't quite ready for the football, and of course the reason that they missed.
Now inside of 1 minute, the rules change. We do have a penalty
delay
marker.
Game on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Rules change here inside 1 minute. The clock will stop with incomplete passes. It'll also stop plays that go out of bounds. Now, the team that has the lead must make an effort to gain yardage. In the outdoor game, you would see the quarterback take a knee here. That cannot happen in the Arena Football League.
That's one of the great things that makes the last minute of every game exciting, because teams have to go for it. They have to try to push the ball down the field. Gives both teams an opportunity to win in the end.
Johnny Curtin, toss sweep to the left. Tanner Varner, leading tackler in the AFL, comes up and makes the stop, but not until Curtin is inside the 10-yard line.
Iowa, that's their 2nd timeout of the half. That'll
Arizona Rattlers came into this game at 2-3, Kurt. In good position to even that record at 3-3, and this is what they have coming up. Short trip to Utah. They'll take on Milwaukee again. Milwaukee no longer 5-1. They were upset by Orlando this evening. They'll play Oklahoma City, Bossier Shreveport, and then they'll play at Jacksonville. Jacksonville at this point appears to be the #1 team in the league.
A couple tough games in the mix there, but looks like a very favorable schedule for them if they can come out of here with a win, get back to 500, maybe able to make up some ground in the next couple weeks.
And you live in the Phoenix area, Kurt. What kind of following, what kind of energy is there for this franchise?
Well, the franchise is coming back, and there's more and more excitement as they've come back this year. It was one of those storied franchises that had a great following for a number of years. Slowed down a little bit, but now that I think they're back, I think with Arena Football, people understanding that the Rattlers are going to be there, I think the fan base is definitely going to come back.
Iowa, that's their
Curtin
3rd
off
and final
the right side, Iowa
It'll be a
taking its last timeout. If you just joined us, it's been an exciting second half. Arizona led 31-20 at the halftime break, Kurt, but we've seen plenty of Ryan Venna and a lot of fight from this Iowa offense as they came back to retake the lead, or take the lead for the very first time. Then they retook the lead. Venna ran over Terrence Sanders. Then Sanders said, all right, I got this for you. I'm going to run it back for 6. Iowa hung in there. Venna to Tommy Ellingworth, his first AFL touchdown, but then it was Davila to J.J. McKelvey, and that's where it stands. 52-48, 46 seconds left. 3rd and 7 for Davila and the Rattlers offense. No more timeouts for Iowa. Jason Simpson with the sack, but we have 2 penalty markers on the field.
Well, normally only a defensive back can blitz when there is a play fake or a pump fake. It looked like in that situation that it was a design blitz by Simpson.
Illegal defense, number 6, an illegal blitz. That's 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Can't do that.
And thus the illegal defense call. As you see, some kind of a play fake or just at least a nudge to Johnny Curtin in that situation where he could have been legal and got a stop in that situation, but the officials didn't see it that way.
Come on, hurry up, hurry up.
Iowa defense just let them score.
I think with this much time, you almost have to and hope that you can get a couple big play touchdowns down the stretch.
Davila fakes the dive, keeps it himself.
The offense did not gain positive
But it looks as if
yardage.
Arizona
By rule, the
is going to
clock
try
is
to
stopped and
attempt
will
to
start on
score
the snap.
without scoring. So they can keep that clock going and not give the ball back to the Barnstormers in this situation.
The Rattlers did not gain yardage, so the clock stops. You have to gain yardage to keep the clock moving. If you have the ball as the team ahead.
Shot on X post. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Listen up. Wax right, X loop. Fire pitch 37, X post. I want to hurry up, hurry up. Start over here.
Timeout, Arizona. That's their second timeout of the half.
Arena Football Friday coming up next Friday. Tampa Bay Storm versus Orlando Predators. Orlando coming off this evening's massive win over Milwaukee. Don't miss live, fast-paced action on Arena Football Fridays, 8 Eastern. You can see it only right here on NFL Network.
Two of the more storied franchises in arena football in Tampa Bay and Orlando, trying to gain back their prominence.
Second goal from the 6, 12.5 seconds left. No timeouts remaining for Iowa. And that is going to do it. And there's your ball game. Coach Guy's Rattlers hang in there on the road, 52-48. Kurt, your final impressions of what you saw from the league where it all began for you?
That was arena football at its best. Offense. The quarterbacks did a great job all night long. It came down to just a couple stops by the defense, and that was the difference in the game.
So it's one thing to be retired before you watch a professional game. You just take it in 4 quarters. Is being retired still feel okay?
It still feels okay, but watching the game, remembering the things that I did in arena
twitch,
just
right?
like this, I could see myself getting back there under center and giving it one more whirl. But happy with my decision, excited about the future, but definitely going to miss the game of football.
People may take that and run with it, Kurt.
People take everything and run with it.
All right, for Kurt Warner and Anthony Herron, thank you for being with us. That is it from Des Moines. The final score, the Arizona Rattlers win 52-48. They even their record at 3. Iowa falls to 3-4. We'll see you next week in Orlando. The Predators, fresh off a big win against Milwaukee, play host to the Tampa Bay Storm right here on NFL Network. It's Arena Football Friday next week. Coming up next, it's NFL Total Access. For Kurt Warner on his nights and Anthony Herron and our entire NFL Network crew, good night and thank you for watching the Arizona Rattlers, your winners 52-48.
Spring free.